There are quite a few players you can buy low on in fantasy football 2023 week number 5 or entering week 5. And some of these guys are cheaper than others. Some of them we get some laughing Lonnies that come in here, and Lonnie goes, "Smitty, oh my God, nobody's trading Ekeler right now, Smitty. Nobody's trading Ekeler." Okay, Bob. You do you, Bob. Not everybody's going to trade in your league. You might be in a league full of non-trading Noahs. I don't know that. You only know that. But what I do know is that your boy has a text line. Your boy has comments galore. Your boy sees a lot of Austin Ekeler 0-4 owners that are freaking out and can't afford him on a bye this week. So stop with the world revolves around me. And because I can't get this done in my league, Smitty, it's not happening. Maybe some of these guys are not attainable. Maybe the guy that owns Devon Achane in your league thinks he's a top 2 running back. And he has every right to think that. Every right to think that. Devon Achane to the moon. I love the way that guy thinks, actually. But some owners are self-destructive people. People are fickle in fantasy football. People are fickle in life. And sometimes a self-destructive person says the wave's going to crash. Let me get rid of him. I had one person say today, should I trade? I got an offer on my desk right here, Smitty. My Nico Collins for his Devon Achane. My Nico Collins for his Devon Achane. And he's asking me this. And somebody actually sent him that trade. Stop acting like people don't make bad trades in your league. It happens every single year. Every single year. Every single week. And if you don't try, you won't land it. This video is going to start off with Breece Hall. This video is going to start off with why you should go buy Breece Hall right now before it is too late, because Breece Hall is going to be unleashed according to his head coach. The Jets coach, Robert Saleh, said that the team would not restrict Breece Hall's workload any longer. And while I still don't fully trust Saleh, while I still don't fully know what this is all going to mean, I do know that the best chance this team has to win games is to run the damn ball. And Breece Hall only needs 15, 16, 17 carries a game, and I think they start to feed him at least that amount. Even if they rotate other running backs in, Breece Hall should be fed. So we're going to talk about Breece Hall. Unleash Breece. Unleash him. Get breached. Go do it live.
Get breached.
The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Oh, Smitty, nobody's trading Austin Ekeler in my league, Smitty. No one's doing it, and the world revolves around me, Smitty. No one's trading AR5, Smitty. No one's trading Cooper Kupp, Smitty. No one's trading JT. I see it every hour. Not once a day, not twice a day, not 5 times a day. Every single hour, somebody's getting one of these guys, if not 2 of them, in trades. And we're starting everything off with Breece Hall, because today we got word from Robert Saleh that he is not going to restrict Breece Hall any longer, which is fantastic news, which means that Breece Hall is likely looking at a 14, 15, 16 carry per game type of workload moving forward. And that's all he needs. Like Devon Achane, Breece Hall is an explosive playmaker that just needs a seam, needs one carry to break off in a rhythm, though. One carry in a set of carries to break off a 40, 50, 60-yard touchdown run. He did it last game. He ripped off yet another monster run. This guy's 40, 50-yard capable runner on one carry anytime he touches the football. Devon Achane and Breece Hall
have similarities. I think Devon Achane is on a whole nother level in terms of acceleration. We call him the Tesla here on the show. And Achane to the moon. Hey, let's give Achane another. Achane. Every time I say Achane's name, I just get excited. And a lot of you are getting excited too, because guess what? Guess what? A lot of you are winning your leagues because of Devon Achane. Maybe we've had some players, slumping, like Breece Hall and Jahmyr Gibbs, but Achane's here to save the day. Achane to the freaking moon.
To the moon.
But Breece Hall should be traded for it. It's going to be a little harder off of this news to trade for him. But I think his owners might be in some cases, and again, this is where arguing Angus comes in.
Nobody's trading in my league, Smitty. These are ridiculous.
It's not going to work in every single one of these scenarios. That's why I have several players on the screen so you can try and pry one of these guys away from the owner in your league that might be willing to trade. Sometimes no one trades in your league. Don't act like it's that Ekeler's not acquirable. It's that your league doesn't trade. You play in a dumb league where no one makes any trades at all. But when we talk about Breece Hall, his owner is going to be one of two different people. The kind of person that says, you know what? I've waited this long. I'm just going to ride the wave out. I love Breece Hall. I'm not trading him. Then owner B is, okay, there's a little bit of sign of getting out of this. Maybe I punt it right now. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm going to go ahead and trade Breece Hall now before things fall apart. This is the only good news I've had. I don't trust this offense. And honestly, that's the way a lot of Breece Hall owners should feel. And for good reason. This team has been very disappointing. As soon as Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles tendon, the whole gauntlet, it was all a mess. Garrett Wilson, top 5 wide receiver, almost guaranteed. The moment Aaron Rodgers went down, I almost broke this mallet, smashing it over and over and over. I couldn't believe it. I was so upset. I ended my live stream early. It took out Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson in one swoop as far as being top 5 at their position. But we do have a freaking opportunity here where this man Breece Hall could resurge and become a top 5 to 10 running back. No one is asking you to go buy him at top 5 to 10 running back value. What I'm asking you to do is get creative. Psychology 101, trade negotiation 101, 2-for-1 deals, make things confusing. Hey, I'll trade away my Barkley for your Breece Hall and wide receiver that's struggling. Oh, I want Devontae Smith. Oh, he won't give you Devontae Smith and Breece Hall for Barkley? What if I throw in this wide receiver that I don't really trust that's been going off lately, and now we make it a 2-for-2? Confuse the hell out of the person until they make the trade, dilute the power of one player into a 2-for-2, and it makes people do trades they shouldn't do. And if you're going to sit here and go, Smitty, no one's making that trade in my league, I'm so good that I wouldn't play in a league where someone would trade Austin Ekeler now that he's on his way back. He's not on his way back. He's on a bye week. He's on a bye week, and his owner might be 0-4. And his owner might be 0-5 when Austin Ekeler returns. So stop making assumptions, Bob, and get on the ringer and stop doing your work at your desk, typing up your TPS reports, having 95 to 100% work productivity, and give yourself a little slack. Toss out a couple DMs while you're doing those TPS reports so that Mary in acquisitions doesn't end up getting Ekeler because you sat on your hands because you had TPS reports to type up, Bob. That's the problem. You assume everything. You assume your league's great because if your league's great and no one would make bad trades in my league, then guess what? That means I'm good because only I'm good if I'm in a good league. If I'm in a bad league, people are going to judge me. People are going to say, oh, Smitty, if I'm in a bad... Whoa. If I'm in a bad league, Smitty, that means that my good team doesn't hold as much weight because I did it in a bad league. Every one of you has a league right now where somebody's making a stupid trade every other week, or at least once a year, where the entire league has their hands up. Don't tell me you can't get a Devontae Smith and Breece Hall for a Barkley, or Kenneth Walker, who's going on a bye. You trade him for an Austin Ekeler. I've seen it twice today. Don't tell me it can't get done. Austin Ekeler has been injured. People are still worried about him, and the self-destructive Ned out there is going to say to himself, well, I think Austin Ekeler breaks, or, oh, I think Devon Achane probably crashes. The wave's going to crash. Self-destructive Donnie is going to trade Achane on the cheap. I had somebody in the comments just a couple hours ago say, should I trade my Nico Collins for Devon Achane? It's on the table right now. What do you mean? Of course you do.
You've just been smitten.
Not everybody has a delusional Donnie in their league that's going to trade Achane away, but you don't know until you try. And if Achane's not available for pennies on the dollar, you offer a solid trade offer for him. And if he's not available at all because the person that owns him watches this channel and they know how valuable he is, you move on. You move on. You go get JT, who still has a whole bunch of risk, and we'll talk about that in a second. Kupp. He's harder to trade for because he's back, but some of his owners are self-destructive Sammies. And they literally want to get rid of this man on the fear he's going to get hurt. And there's risk involved. He's 30 years old. We avoided him. This is a big avoid. Ekeler, big avoid in 2023. Why? Well, same reason he's out right now. But does that mean we don't swoop in and buy him from the owner that drafted him high? That's the whole point of buy low, sell high. That's the whole like motto of this channel. Adjust and adapt. Just because we ignore and don't draft Ekeler, which we were right not to do, and we could swoop in and get him cheaper, just because we said ignore Jonathan Taylor, don't draft him, it's too risky, and ended up being right, doesn't mean we can't adjust and adapt, come in, swoop in, and grab JT. Just because we said avoid Kupp, and we did, we said avoid all three of Ekeler, Taylor, and Kupp, doesn't mean adjust and adapt season doesn't call for grabbing these guys, getting them now, and moving forward with them as the players that could win us a league at low cost of entry. It's absolutely glorious to go get these individuals at a discount. And no one's saying all three are available. No one's saying even one of them is available in all of your leagues, but start trying, poke around. And as for Breece Hall, all I can tell you is this. Is the risk involved that Salah ruins this and craps the bed? Yes, absolutely. There's certainly that capability of this going that way. But the problem is, for people that own him, they're so traumatized by this situation. They want out. Any sign of getting out, they want out. And I understand that, and you might too if you own him in at least one league, and pretty much everyone here probably owns him in at least one league. We all feel that. The moment this news came creeping in to the news wires and it said Salah's going to unleash him, part of us was ultra amped, but you can't say that part of you wasn't like, well, should I try and move him off of this news? That's a natural reaction. So buying him low is certainly possible, or buying him medium, rare, at least, is possible, especially when you confuse people and get tons of things involved. Breece Hall could win a league. Ridley can win a league. Everyone getting off the Ridley train is head scratching to me. Ridley caught a touchdown last week, was put in a box all game long. Their goal on the defensive side of the football was to contain Ridley, and they did for a majority of the game. He slipped past defenders, caught an open touchdown, which was harder than people explain. Oh, he's wide open. There was a lot of timing involved in that catch too. Let's not pretend this guy didn't go out and score a touchdown last week. And I know everybody's saying, Smitty, he hasn't delivered. I'm really worried about Ridley. He's mid. He's this. He's that. Just wait. If he had not dropped a touchdown the week prior and was overthrown by T-Law on another touchdown, I believe that week or the week prior, and dropped another touchdown. He has 2 dropped touchdowns, one of which a hand was involved, and you can't say that it was the easiest catch in the world. But this would be a totally different story if we added 3 touchdowns to this man's total. You'd be singing his praises. You'd be saying this guy's an absolute monster, Calvin Ridley to the moon. I'm all in on buying him at his freak out price right now, his knee-jerk reacting price right now, because he still has wide receiver 1 capability to me. And Breece Hall still has running back 1 capability to me. Am I buying them at their old draft value, Ridley going 11 to 14? No. Ridley can be had at 3rd round equivalent value if drafting today. Breece Hall can be had even off of the new news here way below his draft value. There's no way you have to pay even third or fourth round value for Breece Hall. You can get it done, things done in all kinds of creative packages. JT is a big risk right now, and the thing you got to remember with owners of JT is they're feeling the same kind of fear that a lot of Breece Hall owners fear, is like, what if this doesn't go right? And I have a chance to get rid of him right now, and I'm really worried. I'm 0-4. I'm 0-4, and that matters if you look at the owner and their record. If this owner's 3-1, they're probably not trading JT. If they're 4-0, they're probably not trading JT. If they're 1-3 or 0-4 and they're likely to be 0-5, they may look to trade JT, because the news as of this moment is we don't know if he's playing week number 5. We don't know. Here's the report here from Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter. The report says, how healthy is Colts running back JT? He's listed as a full participant in practice today, his first in months. And then Adam Schefter says, Colts running back Jonathan Taylor is listed today as a full participant. Full participant means he's not injured at all. He's not hampered at all. He's ready to go. He is physically ready to go. And the word is from Ian Rappaport is that he would have been 100% most likely in week 2. If he would have missed week 1, which he probably could have played week 1, he would have been 100% in week 2. So the only confusing or risky part involved in this equation right now is what does the team do? What does the brass do? What does the ownership do? The same ownership that is pretty much out to get him, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. It's not fact. It's just how I see it. That they're in similar fashion wanting to just let the house burn to the ground with JT, much like the Browns owner wanted to do with Deshaun Watson, despite all of the things Deshaun Watson did wrong or right or whatever you think of that situation. It was very much the feel of this owner just doesn't want him to succeed. He'll let the house burn to the ground before he sends Deshaun and lets Deshaun get his way. It feels like there's a little hint of that, or more than a hint of that, going on with JT. I'll get to the super chats as soon as I get done with the sells and the buys and the monologue here. So hang tight. I'll answer in order in which they're received, starting with my $20 haulers. But I do want to just say right here and right now that JT is not a player that is not attainable. He's totally attainable. And the way to go after JT is to trade a guy like Kenneth Walker. And he's got the resume from 2023 so far to go ahead and get a JT. And even if, let's say, JT sits this week, Kenneth Walker's out anyway. I know there's the bye week to factor in with JT, but it's something to consider. Like if you're 1-3 and you're worried about a loss or an L, you don't have Walker anyway. You could trade Walker, who's scored a massive amount of touchdowns, who we feel like has been amazing all year, like we predicted. But this is maybe a time to capitalize on a running back that I feel like has been very, very lucky in some ways to get the touchdown production. If you own Walker, you know what I'm talking about. It feels like you hold your breath for a couple quarters and Walker comes around. And at some point, I do fear, and this is my adjust and adapt. He could be a moon man all offseason long. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I love Walker to the moon. I'm an adjust and adapt analyst. I'll always adjust and adapt. This is not backtracking. This is not being wrong about Walker. This is about being realistic and buying low and selling high. It's all a stock market. It's all a stock market. And at this point, if you could trade Walker away, who's got more value than JT, he needs to have more value than JT, then you go and get another additional player like a Christian Watson, who's done nothing for his owner to really value him super high, right? The touchdown, the excitement, sure. I'm getting to the $20 haulers in just a minute, and then the rest of the super chats. I appreciate everyone that's dropped the super chat. I'm coming for you. Don't worry. But JT and a piece for your Kenneth Walker. Get it done. Stop complaining about how nobody's going to make a trade in your league and start making offers. Let me tell you a little story. Okay, little Bobby boy over in the corner here comes to me and says, Smitty, my name is Bobby boy here. I sent out an offer or two, and I'm not seeing any return, Smitty. I don't know that you're right. In my league, no one's trading. Wait, how many trade offers did you send out, Bobby boy? I sent out 3 offers last night. One to an owner that never replies.
One to another owner that's on vacation, and then to another guy that, we're in discussion, but we haven't heard back from him.
Okay, so you said 3 offers. Let me go over to this guy. Hey, Steve, have you been following my format of offering in droves, offering in masses, offering 2 to 3 offers per owner, and having literally like 24 to 30 offers out there?
Yes, Smitty, I did, and I sent out 12 to 15 offers last night, and when it got accepted, I didn't even know which one got accepted. I had so many trade offers out, Smitty, and the rest of them got wiped out.
That's how you trade. You know how you trade? The best way to trade is when you make so many offers, you feel like you wasted time having 20 offers vanish once one gets accepted. That's how you know you're making enough offers. You've got to offer in waves. It's a numbers game. If I told you there's a 8.7% chance you're going to get a trade done by offering a trade to somebody, why not offer 15 of them? Your odds go up the more trade offers you send out. The likelihood of landing one trade out of 2 or 3 offers is very low. So you need to reset your expectation of getting a trade done like I'm describing if you're a 2 or 3 offer type of person. You need to go offer 2 or 3 different versions of a trade to every single owner in your league. You need in Yahoo, which was a stupid feature, you need Yahoo to say, I'm sorry, you're over your trade offer request, which I hate. I can't stand Yahoo because of that. Because I sent out 20 of them. That's what you need to do. And all of them need to be advantageous to you. So that way, if one goes through, you're not upset. Oh, the other one, I wanted that one more. They're all advantageous to you. JT, go trade for him. Go do a complicated trade. Go get an underperforming Christian Watson with JT using your bigger name player that you're scared to death of. Go trade away one player. Achane, you better not trade him. You better not trade this man ever.
Don't do it. Don't trade him ever.
And if you think he's not attainable, I've got DMs to show you. I've got one-on-one text advice messages to show you. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing that nobody's trading Achane. Nobody's trading Achane. There's so many freaking out Freddies right now that think the wave is going to crash. I don't even surf, Smitty. This is going to crash. I don't want to be on this wave at all. So many people that own him. Can I give you an example? I'm not going to throw any names out. But I had... And 3 of you know who you are because you're avid watchers. 3 of you on my text line. Message me today. 3 of you. 3 of you. 3 of you messaged me today and said, do I start Achane? Or when you sent me your lineup and said, should I fix anything? And Achane was on your bench. What did I say to you? What did I say to all 3 of you? If you're in here, you can speak up. They're 3 avid viewers of mine. Okay? What did I say to you? I know for a fact that I said this to all 3, that you benched him last week and the week prior. Do you know how I know you benched him? Because you're contemplating not starting him this week. Why on earth would anybody that used him last week or the week prior consider benching him? They wouldn't. If you took advantage even of last week, let's say you sat him the week prior, but you started him this last week, and he blew up for you. He was a top 5 running back. He's to the moon to you. You've got him on a pedestal. You love this man. The only way somebody is benching Achane or considering benching Achane this week is if you benched him both last week and the week prior, and you're looking for some sort of validation for your absolutely atrocious mistake. And in psychology and fantasy football, your boy's got a psych degree. I love psychology and fantasy football. And I can tell you right now, the reason that somebody would contemplate it is to validate and justify their actions of benching him. So don't tell me there aren't owners that are mistreating this man. Like the Seinfeld episode where the mechanic calls up Jerry and says, Jerry, you got to get this fixed on the car. He's like, I'll do it another time. He's not taking care of it. The mechanic says, I can't handle this. Gets in Jerry's car and starts driving away and calls him and said, I'm not bringing it back. You don't take care of this car. You need to go get Achane from the owner that is contemplating benching him. And there are so many people out there that didn't ride the wave 2 weeks prior, didn't ride the wave last week. They own him, and they're wanting to not look at him. Every time they look at him, they see disappointment in themselves that they didn't start him. There are so many reasons why somebody might trade away Devon Achane, and for you to assume that every single owner in every one of your leagues won't trade him, Sam from Quality Assurance, or Margaret from Redemptions, or Billy from Billing is going to take advantage while you sit there and type up your TPS report, and they on their lunch break or at the water cooler strike a deal for Devon Achane, and they take him to the moon.
To the moon.
Ekeler, buy low. Achane, buy low. Buy medium. Buy high. It depends what it is, but buy high. Ridley, buy. Cooper Kupp, buy. Why would somebody trade Cooper Kupp? Because he's 30. And because he came back from this injury, got injured again. And his owner might be 0-4. His owner might be 0-5. Puka Nakua's looking great. Maybe they're scared Cooper Kupp won't have his timeshare, his amount of workload available. Who knows what it is? But it doesn't even matter, because even in a league where someone doesn't want to trade Cooper Kupp, they might trade Cooper Kupp for a big name player. Let's say you're 0-4 and you've got Diggs. Oh, Smitty, did this guy just say to trade Diggs? That's my favorite. When somebody comes in and says, did this guy really say to trade Diggs? He's on fire. If this owner's 0-4 and can't win with Diggs, what do you think they should do, Steve? Hold on to Diggs and ride him into the ground and just say, well, I got Diggs. Diggs looks good every week. Yeah, go Diggs. 40 points, the rest of my team, 17. That gives me about 67 to 80 points a week on the average. We're doing good things. Diggs is looking great. All right, yay for Diggs. But I lost JK. I lost Aaron Rodgers. I lost this. I lost that. You think that person should hang on to Diggs? No. The answer is no. If you own Diggs, you own a player that's popping off and you can't win, you look yourself in the mirror and you say, my team is cheeks, bro, and I can't do it. You have to take Diggs, go get a Cooper Kupp and a piece like Achane. Go get Cooper Kupp and a Breece Hall, maybe something else. Go get Cooper Kupp and Ridley for your Diggs. There are moves to be made, and sometimes you got to make hard, tough decisions when your team's crap stinks, is what I'm trying to get at you. And right here, if for anybody real quickly before I get to these super chats doesn't understand how good Devon Achane is, week 1 did not play. Remember, healthy scratch. Oh, Smitty, maybe he's not a good waiver wire claim. When we had him on the waiver wire list, the entire preemptive waiver wire show, the 2 preemptive waiver wire shows, the coming out of week 1 waiver wire show, and constant content far in between, all of that. If you didn't know how good he is, let me just remind you real quick. Week 1 did not play. Healthy scratch. People dropped him. People went away from him. People didn't want anything to do with him. It's all about holding and stashing. And remember this when you think that Roshan can't reemerge at some point. Remember this when you think Charbonnet can't become something later, or that a player like JSN can't become something later. Keep in mind the feeling you had about Achane after the healthy scratch in week 1 and how you defined him potentially a little bit after that. Maybe you contemplated dropping him and you didn't. Maybe you saw him on waivers and you're like, I don't know, and you picked him up. Maybe you picked him up after week 2. Who knows when you picked him up? But the point is, there's doubt with a lot of players until there isn't. That's the nature of NFL football. That's the nature of fantasy football. It's different than baseball and basketball. If you play fantasy baseball, you are what you are. You're your average. You're a 6.78 scorer. You don't even have to watch the game. If you average 6.78 points a game, 6 points a game, you average 6 points a game. Doesn't matter what you do. You don't even have to watch baseball. Baseball's boring anyway. Football, you could be a nothing. You could be a nothing through week 10. And in weeks 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. In week 10, you can become a top 5 to 10 running back. Not starting a game until week 7 or 8. You can still finish inside the top 5 to 7 running backs overall, even including your no games from weeks 1 through 6. This is football. And Devon Achane was 4% attempt share in that backfield in week 2. 8% snaps. 9% of the routes. In week number 3, Devon Achane, 42% of the attempts, 42% of the snaps, and 39% of the routes. In week number 4, 47% of the attempts, 66% of the snaps, and 68% of the routes. This man is an absolute monster on the rise, and the team is utilizing him in an upward trajectory every single week. And even if it stayed where it is, he would be ungodly if it stays where it is. Okay? So get ready for it. Devon Achane to the freaking moon. Let's go to the super chats. Thank you all for dropping your super chats. There are quite a number here. Please bear with me as I drop all the $20 haulers on screen first and foremost. Charles, thank you for your 20. Rick, thank you for your $20 hauler, my broski. Let me get all these $20 haulers out of the way real quickly, and then we'll start getting to the other super chats in order in which they were received. David coming in with a super chat. David, appreciate you, my guy. You are the man, the myth, the legend, David. David, you're taking over the screen. David, you're getting a little excited there. Don't let that comment go to your head. You're making the message a little too big there, pal. Okay, there we go. David, thank you. Appreciate you. Ian coming in with a $20 hauler. Ian, appreciate you more than you know, pal. Thank you so much, buddy boy. Alonzo coming in with a $20 hauler. Alonzo, appreciate you, my broski. I think I've got all the $20 haulers on screen. Let's go through them right now. Charles, $20 hauler. Rick, $20 hauler. Here comes your $20 super chat recognition, and I'm going to do them in bunk bed style. So Charles and Rick, you got bunk beds on the $20 hauler. Dollars to the left are for Rick. The dollars to the right are for Charles.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Okay, Charles says, hey, Smitty, took your advice yesterday and was able to get JT and Drake London for Walker. Charles, I don't want to say that was not enough, because I think what I tried to strive for is getting a little bit better wide receiver than that. Charles, I don't think it necessarily won't work out for you, and it's got some risk to it, but it also has some upside to it. But for anybody watching, I want a better wide receiver than London. I like London a lot. He's definitely a comeback kid potentially for us going forward, but I would say for anybody watching, you want to aim for just a bit higher wide receiver, a Deebo Samuel type player, Devontae Smith. And then what happens if you ask for JT and Devontae Smith, they're like, I'm not giving you that. You throw somebody else in that might be doing well and try and even that scale. But I do believe London could potentially become this. I think JT and Christian Watson would be my lowest point to where, but it still could very much work out. If London actually bounces back or does really well, Charles, it could be really good for you. But I would say in general, I wanted a different wide receiver, but that's okay. We like London a lot. We think he can definitely, be very solid moving forward. So let's hope everything works out with JT and see what happens. But check in with me from time to time and let's see what else we can do. Maybe we can move London and another piece for a better wide receiver. And at the end of the day, bro, you end up going, wow, I got JT and this guy essentially for that. Hey, Smitty, rolling out Bijan, Breece, and Alvin, then Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Christian Watson. I need one more at the flex. Dell, Addison, Spears, or Gainwell. I think you probably go with Dell. I know everybody's like hot and cold with Collins, Dell, Collins, Dell. It's going to rotate. And I think Dell is a safe play. Addison's also very nice. I don't think if you wanted to go super duper safe, I probably would say Addison's maybe a touch safer, but his upside isn't quite as high as Dell's, which could be 100 yards in a touch or 150 in a touch. We've seen what Collins and Dell can do. They both can drop 140 in a score. Also thinking of offering one of these options plus Justin for Austin. Justin who? For Justin, plus Justin, Alvin Kamara, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. I don't know what we're talking about here with Justin, bro. These flex options plus Justin for Austin. I don't know, bro. You'll have to get back to me on that, Rick. I don't know. I don't see a Justin anywhere. I know you're not talking about trading Justin Jefferson. But Rick, get back to me on that. Let me see if I can figure out what you mean on that one. Alonzo with a $20 hauler. Ian with a $20 hauler. Thank you, David, for your 27. Bunk bed style. Okay, Alonzo, dollars on the right. David, your dollars are on the left.
Alert. Super chat alert.
All right. Alonzo, Smitty, my team is in shambles. Lots of injuries. Full PPR. 12-man. 1-3. Squad is Jordan Love, T-Law, Gibbs, Kamara, Pierce, McKinnon, Watson, Nico Collins, Pickens. Hunter Henry. Any thoughts? Man, you must have lost somebody because that team is really thinned out. I don't know who you lost, but I don't know what you can do here. Alonzo, I'm not trying to say I can't fix it, but sometimes you go to the doctor and they're like, have you ever thought about just like, you ever thought about just kind of going to Disneyland? And I don't know what to tell you here. I would say your best option here is to try and trade Kamara away on the high for a similar player that's maybe not doing as well right now. You'd have to take some weird gambles. You'd have to trade Kamara for like a Breece Hall and get lucky and get a Devontae Smith for an Alvin Kamara. You might have to throw in something. You have to get lucky trading Nico Collins like the guy earlier that somehow got Achane for Nico Collins. Or if you were able to trade Nico and maybe Kamara for Ekeler and somehow, some way get some wide receiver that we actually really like a London to get thrown in or something. You're going to have to probably go those avenues. So I would try and poke around at the players that we have on screen here. Ridley, Breece Hall, Taylor, Kupp, Achane, Ekeler, other players that come to mind. You've got Christian Watson, so you can't go after him. He's always a good one. Maybe you go after a quarter. I don't know, man. This is tough. Look, Watson and Nico might be pretty solid. Gibbs has to bounce back or there's just no hope. But I think you have to try and divide Kamara up into two players. But don't do it for like a Breece Hall and nobody. You know, you got to do it for Breece Hall and get lucky buying a wide receiver that the guy just doesn't value anymore. Like, I've seen Ridley get discarded. I'd probably go after Ridley. Take Kamara, go to the Ridley owner, see what RB you could throw in. I've seen people discard Calvin Ridley like he's a wide receiver 3. And I see people every day asking me, Smitty, should I bench Ridley and put in this wide receiver, blah, 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 that's a wide receiver 3 at best? And I ask myself, how did Ridley get taken not only out of your number 1 wide receiver role? And I understand that if you've got somebody doing amazing, you made a trade, whatever. But how do you take Ridley out of the number 2 wide receiver slot? And now you're contemplating benching him as your wide receiver 3 flex. I don't get it. So Ridley is probably the best player, Alonzo, for you to go to, that owner, and see what you can add to that. That's the best advice I can give you. It's a tough team, and I do appreciate your $20 hauler. And maybe you call in and we work it out in a second. So definitely ring me up, Alonzo, if you want to discuss, and we can try and work this out. $27.99 hauler. Hey, Smitty, 0-4. What moves to make? My team is Fields, Love, Gibbs, Achane, Walker. Okay, so you've got some upside here. You've got Sharps, Javonte, Olave, Dotson, Jameson, Tank. What do you need to do? Need 2 reliable flexes, Dell and Dotson. Olave can't be sold high. You can't go there. Jameson, I don't know that anybody's going to overpay. Your only sell highs are Achane and Walker. And the only way I'm selling Achane is if you're getting the freaking moon, bro. Like, you're getting a Devontae Smith and a freaking, I don't know, like a Walker and Devontae. Like, I honestly feel like that's the only thing I'm moving Achane for, is you'd have to get literally 2 players like Debo and Walker, Devontae Smith and Walker. You know, I wouldn't take a Ramondre Stevenson and Debo or anything. I wouldn't. Achane's worth more than that. So I can't have you sell him. But Walker is sellable. Walker is a top 5 running back in any context. Everybody feels he is. He's been scoring like crazy. And I just feel like there's an opportunity to go get a JT and receiver for you, or a Kenneth or an Ekeler and maybe some sort of wide receiver swap where you give Jameson and you get some guy like London, and all of a sudden you have a little bit of a shot, like a window of opportunity here. This is going to be hard for you to come back. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because you don't have any depth to even move around. Your only play is that Gibbs bounces back, Fields continues, and you're able to trade Kenneth Walker on a 2-for-1 or a creative 2-for-2. David, I wish I could give you a better diagnosis there, but the doc is not, laying down the bedside manner today. And I appreciate your $20 hauler, but you asked me for the truth, and that's my true assessment to both you, Alonzo, and to David. I'm giving you the truth. Like, you need to go make those big trades, or it's not looking good. Meaning the pressure's on. Put on the pressure on these other owners to get a deal done, because you can't wait. You can't wait, and you can't wait for some of these buy lows to go away. Ian with a $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
I appreciate you, Ian, my boy, coming in strong. My running backs are K9, Kamara, Swift, very good. Breece, you could afford to move one. I am wild. Am I wild for offering K9 straight up for Achane? No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not. I would do it. I would do it. I would do it. Why not? Does anybody in the chat disagree? Does anybody in the chat feel differently about Achane over Walker? Does anybody feel like that would be a grave mistake? I don't think so. And I believe the chat's going to agree, to be quite frank. Ian, I would Smitty approve that, assuming the other owner accepts it. Be careful how you do that. If you just offer it straight up, it may not work. They might get scared off and say, wow, that's my value for, you know what I'm saying, Ian? You got to approach this with craft. You can't, this is trade negotiation 101. This is psychology and fantasy football. This is how do you trade with a player? Go and get more. Go and get more. Go and get more, because you probably can. And so how do you do that? How do you deploy that? This is how you don't do it. Hey, will you give me Achane and I'll give you Walker? That's how you get ripped off. That's how you get an owner to say, no, I don't want to do that trade, when maybe they would have done it, but now they don't want to. How do you do it? You go to them and you say, hey, Steve, let's make a trade. And they say, okay. You say, hey, what do you want for it? And you talk about another player. You make some offer that you would gladly take, but they're going to reject. And then you say, well, what other RBs you have? Well, I have Achane. And you say, well, I don't know. I have Walker, and I don't think that's going to be even. Like, what else would you give me in addition to Achane if I was to make that move? And a lot of the times, they would normally say, oh, yeah, that's even. I don't know if I'll do that. But when you phrase it like that, you're literally putting Achane in his place, and he'll either listen to you or he won't. But if the owner says, well, I don't know, what would you want? You know you got him. You know you got him. When you say, I give you Achane, or I give you Walker for Achane, but what would you give me back? Because I need something back. The moment they say, well, it depends on the something, you got him. That trade is as good as done, and you probably get something else. So try your best to acquire something else. Don't think you can't make that trade without getting an additional piece. I don't know what the chat voted in here. I think a lot of people said sell Walker for Achane and a wide receiver. Yes, I agree. Psychology, Smitty. Yes, Jordan. Appreciate you. All right. Okay. So Ian, appreciate you for asking that $20 hauler, and I think I've got all the $20 haulers off of the books right now. Vampy coming in with his super chat. Vampy says trade Love plus Laporta for Kelsey if I have Josh Allen. Love plus Laporta for Kelsey. I would definitely do that. That's a easy smash, Vampy. That's almost like take a lap for not already executing that trade type of move. So great job. That's phenomenal, bro. Appreciate your super chat. True Penguin with, I believe, the first super chat of the day, which always gets a standing O. That's my boy, True Penguin. He says, Smitty, trade Fields, Olave for Hurts in a, I don't know. I was going to say in a heartbeat, but no, I don't know. I'm wavering on that one now as I speak. I think you probably... need something else, but I like where you're headed, and I love Olave, but Hurts is a big difference maker, and it depends on your depth. But if you could get something else, then we're talking, okay? Something significant to you that might not be to them. Trade my AR5 K9 London for T-Law Bijan Palmer. No. You can't do this trade. That's too much value on the K9 and AR side, so absolutely not on that trade. Eduardo, appreciate you. Dell, Walker, and Jamison Williams for Adams and Pierce. I would say that that's about an even trade. Like, if you needed wide receivers more, I could see Adams being the better side of that. If you needed the running back, I could see Walker. Jamison and Pierce both have some upside. I think Dell might be a little bit of the wild card, and that's why I might say, like, I kind of lean toward the Walker side, especially if you have Charbonnet. If you don't have Charbonnet, maybe I lean Adams, but then I might trade Adams on the high for another safer wide receiver or combo. Traded Kupp for Pollard and Higgins. I don't know that I would Smitty disapprove or approve it. I think that there's upside on both sides. Kupp, if you need a wide receiver, makes sense. Pollard, but I would probably say the Pollard side has a little bit more safety because I think Pollard feels safer. Kupp is a little bit of an enigma, but at least you're getting like Higgins as well on the Pollard side, which I don't love Higgins at all, but it's an additional piece that I think is in some ways pretty solid to just have in terms of like trade value or if he bounces back. Garrett Wilson for Christian Watson. Look, I don't mind going the Christian Watson route if you don't want a big share of the Jets offense. I get it, and I think Christian Watson could earn this value. It's a risk. I think Garrett Wilson's worth more. I try and get more, but I understand it, and I do feel like Watson has that capability of being that good. I really do. I think Christian Watson, we didn't put Christian Watson on here. We need to put Christian Watson on here. He's also one of the best buy lows right now in fantasy football. So let's put him on the screen because he absolutely deserves to be up here with these gentlemen. I would say he's probably the next best trade for player, and for that reason, he's definitely going on this list right here, right now. So let me put this up here. Christian Watson, appreciate you, young man, and let's get you on the screen here, pal. Let me put his mug right here and drop it on the screen here. Christian Watson, one of the best buy lows in fantasy right now. Let's put him, let's move this Breece Hall news. Let's put this over in the corner with Breece right there. Let's put Christian Watson. We'll move this Achane graphic over here. Don't trade Achane. And we'll put a little Christian Watson graphic right here. Let me just make this all nice and tidy. And that way we can move on to the rest of this. I'm sorry for the delay here. Hold on. Got to get Watson on here. Watson's a phenomenal buy low. But again, Garrett Wilson is tough because I still think Garrett Wilson has a lot of upside. And if you look at like every game, he's in the end zone. He's almost catching touchdown passes, and like at some point he could, revive himself. $10 hauler here from Senior Rojo. Senior, appreciate you. I'm 1-3, 12-team PPR. Would you drop Hunt or Jalen Warren for McLaughlin or Michael Wilson? I probably would drop both of them. I think Warren needs to be monitored. He has that not really win a league potential in that offense. It's so vanilla. But it's really good value. Like, you need to monitor the heck out of him, because if Najee got hurt, Warren would be very valuable. I would say close to win a league potential. Like, at least like assist you in winning a league. But McLaughlin's maybe more valuable now, but he could also go out and do nothing. Absolute nothing. Like, kind of like Kelly looked great, and then when he got the shot, he did nothing. I mean, McLaughlin, change of pace work makes a running back look a lot better. And McLaughlin was getting a lot of change of pace work, and he ripped off a lot of good runs. But he's smaller. I think Michael Wilson is maybe the safer bet, but McLaughlin's nice. But I would probably rank them in order of, if you needed RBs, McLaughlin, Warren, and then Michael Wilson, as long as you needed RBs now. But the long plays, probably Jalen Warren, I suppose. But McLaughlin's a nice shot, man. If you need something big, It's a nice little, like, what if he ends up developing into something very consistent? Look how Kyron felt like, okay, is this for real? Is this for real? It's for real. Oh, hell yeah, it's for real. And now it's like you can't touch him. Kyron's a top 5 running back right now. It's insane. Should I trade Lamb and Ford for Olave and Achane? Lamb and Ford for Olave and Achane. I would take Olave and Achane in a millisecond, John. In a freaking millisecond. It's not even close, bro. It's not even close. Lamb and Olave are almost even in my book in some ways. I'd rather probably have, I don't know which one I'd rather have. I go back and forth. But Achane over Ford, it's a home run. This is what I'm talking about. If this trade offer is out there, these are the things that I see every day, and then I get a message back. Done. Thank you, Smitty. And it's like this is on the table right now. And Achane is absolute top 5 to 10 running back. That's a home run, John. That's a home run. Thank you for your super chat. Last flex spot out of Pierce and London and Michael Wilson. I probably go Pierce if he's healthy. He's banged up right now, so make sure he's good to go. But it probably would be Pierce. I think the touches are there. London would probably be my next choice, but I'm monitoring in my on my bench Michael Wilson, and at any point he might go in. And I don't blame anybody for starting Michael Wilson. I really don't. Like, if you wanted to put him in there, I'm fine with that. Can't find anyone in my league that will trade for Henry. I have Debo and Breece, Christian Watson, Herbert, and Tank Dell. You got to do a creative wide receiver for your running back. And if you say, Smitty, I need an RB, well, you know, beggars can't be choosers. You might have to do 2 trades. If you traded Henry for Devontae Smith, Henry for a Debo and a player, you could have maybe got, you already have Breece Hall, like a Breece Hall type, and Debo for Henry was maybe attainable before this news. Like if you didn't have Breece Hall, I'm saying, just give you an example. I mean, have you tried for Achane? Have you tried for a wide receiver straight up? Would you take Ridley and a Pierce? Would you take Ramondre and a Christian Watson? Those are all, you just got to keep offering, Caleb. I know it feels like no one's going to trade, but you got to keep offering. All it takes is one person to accept. Smitty to the moon, 10-team PPR home league, must have been sleeping. Got McLaughlin off waivers this morning for free. Is that a got him thoughts? It could be, Thomas. I don't know. I like him. He's definitely intriguing right now. He looked really good. So the idea that you got him for free and he was sitting there, great job. I don't know if I'm going to hit the got him button because we saved that for very special occasions. And he's definitely a nice, intriguing player. So good job on that. Johnny Boy with the $5 hauler. In one league, I traded James Cook, Pierce, and Pickens for Ekeler. And in another, I traded JT and Dell for D. Adams and Waddle. Smitty approved. So JT and Dell for Devontae Adams and Waddle. I take Devontae Adams and Waddle. That's a really good trade. And the other one, I traded James Cook and Pierce and Pickens for Ekeler. Smash on both of them. Those are got 'em trades.
Got him.
And again, for my $20 haulers, Alonzo, where was that at? Alonzo right here. Alonzo, if you want to call into the phone line, bro, dial into the phone line. And I'll help you out. And David as well, $20 hauler David, if you want to call into the phone line as well, and we want to, work through some things. I appreciate you guys dropping those 20 wads, and I wish I had better news for you, but there's still options. There's still trades that can get done. You can make an amazing trade where you rake someone over the coals, and you might be back in it. Thank you, Johnny Boy, for your super chat and bragging. The bragging rights are warranted there, pal. What do you like better in a league, in a keeper league? Diggs, Dallas Goedert for Keenan Allen, Mark Andrews. I'd rather have the Diggs side. Well, I think Diggs lasts longer than Keenan Allen though, because I think Diggs probably lasts a little longer than Keenan Allen. I'm gonna go Diggs and Goddard, but it's close. I mean, Mark Andrews is a very solid option. It's just from year to year, I feel like he's going to be kind of an injury concern. It might seem like the Andrews side's better just because of the way that Keenan Allen's playing, but and Andrews could be playing going forward. But I think that long term, I'd rather have the Diggs side. But very, very close. In redraft, I might look at the Keenan Allen side. Trade my Tua and Bijan for Burrow and Ekeler. This is a risky move. I'm going to say, give me Tua and Bijan. I think it's a little bit safer. I know Burrow's a decent buy low right now. He almost even made this list in some. I just didn't want to put him here because there's a lot of risk involved. But Burrow, I don't know that I'm ready to give up on Burrow yet. I know a lot of people are cutting him, and there's certain contexts where you have to if you got to pick up like a Jordan Love and you have nobody else. And I get it, but I just think there's a shot that Burrow rebounds, and Jamar Chase freakouts might be. I still recommend trading Jamar Chase if you can to get a Devontae Smith and Breece Hall, to get a Debo and Breece Hall type of move. Like maybe even more than that. Maybe Debo and Breece Hall is not enough, but you know what I'm saying? Like a Ridley and Breece Hall, an Achane and Debo. Like you can trade Jamar Chase for that. You probably got to take that. But I still think that in some cases when people over freak out about it, it's not. I think Bijan and Tua is better in this example that Case has, but I still think there's a lot of value in that other side. But there's just more security maybe. And Tua's got injury risk too, but Bijan, Ekeler, it's pretty close. I think Bijan goes on a tear here and starts scoring some touchdowns, which it makes me sick he's not getting them yet. What do you like better? Keeper League Diggs. Oh, I already did this one. Appreciate you. Dallas Goedert, Keenan Allen, Mark Andrews. I can keep Olave, Wilson, and Breece already. Okay. Yeah. Same advice still applies. I didn't read the last part yet, but Z, appreciate you, Z, with the $10 hauler on screen. $10 haulers get a moonshot, my boy. Yo, Smitty, I was going to trade Ridley for Kupp, but the guy backed out. Do you start Ridley, Dell, Dobbs, or London? I ranked them in order of Ridley, space, ... Then probably, I guess London or Dell next. I like Dobbs about as much as Dell right now, but I think Dell could still be very explosive, and I think they rotate a little bit. And people need to keep in mind that everybody loved Dell over Collins before last week. Now Collins is like everyone's got him so high above Dell. It's so funny what 1 week can do. But Ridley's in a whole nother tier. Other receiver is Waddle. Feels like I'm kind of screwed at wide receiver. Why? When you've got Ridley and Waddle. I don't understand why everybody's thinking that these are garbage wide receivers. Ridley and Waddle is a really nice wide receiver duo. So don't, assuming you got good RBs, you don't have to worry about it. Someone wants Achane from me, Cooper Kupp, for Cooper Kupp. Achane is a flex. Honestly, I would rather have Achane than Kupp, but it's arguable, and if you wanted to go wide receiver for balance reasons, I could get behind it, or not get behind it, or Smitty approve it. I honestly wouldn't do it, but that's because I believe Achane's the real deal, and you might believe Kupp's not going to get injured or re-injured. I would take Achane, but it's a really, really close call. Thank you, KH. Appreciate your super chat. And if the chat disagrees, drop your comments in there and let them know what you think. But that's a tough one. $4.99 holler, PPR 1 and 3. Tua, Ridley, Amari, Terry, DJ Moore, Achane, Gibbs, Warren. Trade Ridley for Breece and Jerome Ford. No, I buy Breece low. I'd buy Breece low, but I would not buy Breece. This is buying Breece at. I guess Ridley's dropping to that value potentially, but I don't understand it, and I don't feel like it should be the case. But it is what it is. Who's AR5? Anthony Richardson, bro. Come on. Wake up, Pinch. Wake up, pal. Well, appreciate you. I would say, you probably want more. I don't think Ford's enough. I'd take something else, Christian Watson type of thing. That would be a good move if you could pull off like something like that in return versus, Ford. I don't know what Ford's going to do. Trade McLaurin for Hall possibly. I would do that. That's the kind of move that could win a league rock out. I like that move a lot. I'm not super excited about. Sorry, Pinch. I didn't mean to. At least Pinch is a good sport. Pinch has a little smiling, crying emoji instead of going, "Oh, you didn't have to be mean to me. You didn't have to be mean to me, Smitty." Look at Pinch. Pinch is the man. Pinch for president. I don't even think I'm saying his name right. I'm barely seeing it come by. It's like, I don't know what it said. All right, ETN and Swift for Ekeler. That's a lot, but get something else. Get something else, and then it starts feeling even Steven. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get a little bit more. It's, maybe a throw into them, but a very nice piece for us. You know what I'm saying? Judy, appreciate you. Devontae Smith for Calvin Ridley, and I have D Swift and Hurts. I like Devontae Smith a little more, and the triple stack doesn't concern me as much as I just like Devontae Smith a lot. But that's close. If your gut says that Ridley's going to be equal or better, which he could be, then take the Ridley side. But I slightly lean toward Devontae Smith right now, and so I don't make a trade because of the oversaturation of Eagle players. The Eagles have been playing well from a team perspective. They're 4-0, but I think that they start playing very well from a stat perspective soon. Breece Hall for Ekeler in Dynasty. I'd rather have Breece Hall in Dynasty. I have Bijan and Gibbs. Yeah, you got to take Breece Hall if it's Dynasty. That's a whole different monster. I mean, Ekeler might not have a single lick of value after the season's over. So that's easy. Monty, a good trade for Breece. Achane, yeah. Monty for Breece. Monty's safer. Breece has the ability to outperform him or get to his level, but he's certainly going to be starting off with a disadvantage. He's going uphill. So I think Monty's safer than Breece Hall. It is what it is. But Achane, if you get Achane from Monty, I smash that. And I'm not trying to disrespect Monty, but that's how I feel about Achane. That's how good Achane is. So totally different worlds, those two. Achane's a whole nother level than in that situation for them, even Breece. Start Pollard or Monty. You're going to start Pollard if you're choosing from a weekly basis, yeah. Hard to sit either of them. Yeah, you got to make a trade. Achane is my other running back. No way I'm sitting him right now. He's on fire. Ken, you better have been starting him at least last week, but hopefully the last 2 weeks. But you need to make a trade because Monty's got extremely high value. And if Monty goes out and craps the bed this week, which I don't think will necessarily happen, but if he did, then you're not getting what you should get out of him. So you better trade him now and get that wide receiver for Monty straight up. And I'm telling you right now, my boy, who is that? Ken Miller. I'm telling you right now, my boy, you can go get a wide receiver that's a little bit better than you should be getting using a running back with a depleted running back climate right now. Traded Pittman and James Conner for Olave. Look, you could argue the Pittman and Conner side, but I would rather have Olave. It's funny how good Olave's done all year, and he had one bad week, and people are just off the Olave train. It's just the fickle Freddies out there. You deserve accolades. Traded. Thank you. Appreciate you, Noah. Noah does know something. Just kidding, Noah. We use your name a lot, and I'm sorry if it always comes off like it's directed toward you, Noah, when we say a know-it-all Noah or whatever. Not this Noah. This is the good Noah. Change your name to the good Noah. You deserve accolades. Traded James Cook, Ayuk, and Mostert for Ekeler. Look, you could pro and con that on both sides, but I would take Ekeler. You're 0-4. You need a big swing. I like it. Excellent move. Smitty approved. I could certainly get behind that kind of move with an 0-4 team. I like that, bro. You did a really good job there. Case coming in with a $2. Should I trade Gibbs and Laporta for JT? Gibbs and Laporta for JT. I would take JT and probably, I don't want to say run because there's still questions around the situation for sure, but it's a good move. It's a fun move, and there's pros and cons, and if you don't like dice rolling, don't go after JT or Kupp. I'm just going to say this right now so I don't get a lot of crying. Caleb's coming in later and saying, Smitty, you blew my league, and I'm done in my league, and I blame you. I'm never watching this channel again. I quit fantasy. If you are an anxious Angus, do not trade for Kupp or JT. But they are win a league or lose a league players. It is what it is. If you don't need it, don't go after it. If you need the risk, do it. Just wanted to say thanks. Left Behind Times, appreciate you just tossing out a super chat, just being an awesome person. To the moon, pal.
To the moon.
That's what I'm talking about. Noah, and again, Noah comes back for more. I had no trade league. James Cook isn't getting go alone work. Ayuk hit and miss. Mostert lost his job. People forgot Ekeler is a beast last year. Exactly, bro. Ekeler, look, he was in a void for me, but I think we got justified on that. Like he was injured. Like at some point, the mileage is going to add up. But now he gets to play a shorter season from here forward, and there's risk of him getting hurt. But it's now time to adjust and adapt and go get him. That's as simple as it is. And people can either understand the concept or they can say, oh, Smitty's a flip-flopper because now he likes Ekeler when he told us to stay away from Ekeler. Well, if you think that's how I'm looking at it, then you don't really understand this show. And I've got Lego Batman in here dropping another 20 wad. Hassan coming in with a 20 wad. I've got Cheese coming in with a 20 wad on screen. My boy Cheese. Lego is going to get his own little 20. You're all getting your own $20 hauler, celebration. But Lego, this guy's in here so much doing this. Look at this man. He's out there fighting for our freedom on the streets, creating justice for all, and he has time to come in here and drop $20 haulers. It's unbelievable, to be honest. It's unbelievable.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Lego, appreciate you. 14-team non-PPR, but you get 0.5 for a first down. That's weird and hard to really assess. But I would say starting T-Law, Bijan, Kamara, A.J. Brown, Ridley, Garrett Wilson, Laporta, benches, Jalen Warren. Okay, I would say, do I go after Breece Hall or Gibbs? I'll be tempted to get Gibbs right now. With this team, you've got good RBs. You got great wide receivers. Garrett Wilson for Breece is a tempting move. Laporta and then trying, use Komet or Laporta in a trade is probably your best move here. You're going to keep the faith in T-Law. What else can you do? Unless you can move one of your tight ends in T-Law for Hurts, or maybe even Garrett Wilson in T-Law for Hurts. Maybe one of your tight ends, Garrett Wilson and T-Law for Hurts. Might be a really strong move for you to solidify a baller quarterback without touching Kamara, Bijan, A.J. Brown, and Ridley. And then you can go to your bench and say, maybe I'll take a little gamble on a Rice, or maybe Dell gets dropped or whatever, and you can pick up a player. I don't know. I think, Spears is a really nice piece as well for later. I think the quarterback would help you a little more than that RB move, but Garrett Wilson or one of the tight ends for Breece Hall would be the best move, Lego. I don't think I'd overpay more than Garrett Wilson for Breece Hall. Gibbs, I think you can get rid of one of the tight ends for Gibbs, which I would definitely consider doing. Those moves are very, very strong, given you have Komet in there. Lego, appreciate you, and come back for more if you got any other questions. Cheese, $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Cheese, appreciate you. 2-2 PPR team is Mahomes, Love, Swift, Kamara, Walker, JT. That's a good running back stable, bro. You got some wiggle room here for trades if you need it. Let's see what your wide receivers look like. London, Flowers, Pickens. Yeah, you need wide receivers. Flex spot, I can start 3 RBs weekly. Keep my 4 good RBs in case the one gets injured. No, not with your wide receivers, Cheese. You're losing. The reason you're 2-2, you're losing wide receiver points, and you get a lot of. I guess I would potentially trade Swift for like Devontae Smith or Ridley, and you could probably get Ridley and somebody, the way that people are freaking out about Ridley, Cooper Kupp, Debo and something like Debo and a Breece Hall type of player. You definitely could get that for, I think, using like Swift or Walker. I'd rather get rid of, I think, Swift and keep the remaining RBs. Warren's also a nice little what if it happens for you, but you got to go get a wide receiver. You have to. Don't worry about bye weeks. Don't worry about injuries. Don't hold on to that bench value and just run your team into the ground. Devar, I didn't miss your super chat, my broski. You're just on a long line. 606 of you watching. Please punch that thumb up button. Appreciate you guys. Hit that thumb up button. Let's go with the $20 hauler from Hassan.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Okay, 10-team non-PPR 4-0 QB Stroud, Kyler, IR. Wide receivers JJ, Garrett Wilson, Kirk, Godwin, Dobbins. Running backs K9, Cook, Mixon, White, McLaughlin. Got offered Hall and Charbonnet for Garrett Wilson and K9. Got offered Hall and Charbonnet for Wilson and K9. That's a weird trade. But you can't trade Garrett Wilson and Kenneth Walker for Hall and Charbonnet. It doesn't make any sense at all. Absolutely not. The Wilson and K9 side is the better side by quite a bit. You know, if you could trade, you know, when I trade Garrett Wilson for Hall, yeah, I would do that. But you can't do that other trade. That just doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't do that at all. I mean, give K9 some respect. I don't mind trading K9 away right now, but you got to get something big. You can't go get Breece Hall. It's a downgrade. We're hoping Breece Hall can hang with K9 and be better than K9. He certainly could, but fair market value. This isn't one of those things where, oh, I guess I should have done that trade. No. It's about fair market value. No one's saying don't get Hall, but K9 should get you Hall and a Debo. You know, you can't settle just because you think it might work out. You know, that's why you don't buy a house for $500,000 when it's worth $400 and say, well, in 2 years it'll be worth $600. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. You got to pay the right price. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate your super chat, by the way. And Chase with a $20 hauler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Chase coming in strong, my broski. Appreciate you dropping the 20 watt on screen, my guy. Just woke up next to Young in the Philippines, hungover, and see the news about Breece Hall and gave her a heart attack. Let's go, mashed potatoes. Unleash Breece Hall. I appreciate you to the moon. Don't be a panic, Patrick. Thank you, Chase. Appreciate you. Let's give Chase a standing ovation. All right, Chase, appreciate your super chat. Thank you very much. You are the man, the myth, the legend. Let's ride on these other ones. John, guys, I'm not missing your super chat. We're just a little behind, so hang tight. Like I always say, this is like a nice restaurant. There's a long wait, but once you get a seat, you're gonna love your seat. You're gonna love your restaurant experience. You're gonna love what we have to offer. I'm considering dishing Achane for Kupp. Again, we got this question already, John, and I'm not gonna tell you to do it, but I would say that I understand it and I don't hate it, and I don't mind it if you do it. I would rather keep Achane, but it's completely arguable. And I don't want to say even, because I would suggest that I would do it or something, but it's borderline arguable, you know. Half PPR, giving Pollard and Higgins and Pickens for Diggs and Breece. I would take Diggs and Breece and run. And Charbonnet, that's fantastic. I like that trade. That's the kind of move you make, my broski. That's how you wheel and deal, pal. Trade Christian Watson, Laporta, Dotson for Goddard and Lamb. I would rather have Goddard and Lamb, but it's close. And Watson hasn't earned this value. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I think that the Watson side could win? Yeah, I think it could. But again, this comes down to fair market value. Do you buy a $500,000 house for $600,000 because you think it'll be worth $700,000? No. So there's the fair market value problem. Need a QB. Someone offer me Josh Allen and Breece Hall for Kenneth Walker and James Cook. I would take that in a heartbeat. I would take that in a heartbeat because, number one, I think Breece Hall and James Cook have very similar value right now, and I think Breece Hall ends up having better value. And Josh Allen, look, you need a quarterback bad. I don't mind this. You got Achane and Bijan. I submit you approve it.
You've just been...
Okay, here we go. Mac with a super was offered ETN, I think is what you're trying to say there, for my Achane. I'd rather have Achane. It doesn't mean ETN's not going to bounce back or have a really good, week, couple weeks coming up here. I think ETN's fantastic, but him and Walker are just two players that I'm tempted to sell high on because I feel like their situations are conducive to disappointment and sharing to the point where it's like you're holding your breath a little bit, and it doesn't mean we didn't love him, doesn't mean he hasn't earned every bit of value, Walker, that we invested in, but it just might be time to say, hey, there are some moves that can be made using this high value. Smitty to the moon, would you trade Gibbs and Hall for Bijan? Gibbs and Hall for Bijan? I'd rather have Bijan, but it's very tempting to hold the other side just on the upside there. That's from my 12-month member, JC. Appreciate you, but I'd take Bijan, pal. And this one right here, traded 2 QB Superflex, traded away Puka and Collins for Ridley and A. Rich. In a Superflex, you have to take that trade. Doesn't matter how good Puka's playing or Collins is playing. You're getting A. Rich, Anthony Richardson, AR5 in a Superflex. you're smashing that trade to pieces, bro. That's a highway robbery potentially in a super flex. Aloha, Smitty, 1 and 3. Thank you, Juice. Appreciate you. My JJ for Kupp and Breece. Not enough. JJ's worth so much more. It's totally Smitty disapproved that trade. Keep JJ. JJ's so much more valuable than that. You could get a whole nother player added to that, and I still may not do it. Trade Evans for Tua. QB is Burrow. AJ, Olave, Higgins, Tank. Yeah, I would take Tua in this situation. I think Tua is a very good buy low quarterback this week. And honestly, Tua should be on this list as well. Maybe we'll put on it in a minute. Tua is a very, very good buy low quarterback. Tua will be a fantastic addition for your QB arsenal. I would do that in a heartbeat. Evans is hurt right now. I like him a lot, but he is hurt. He is older. Walker for Achane. I'd rather have Achane, but I try and get more because it seems like fair market value can command that you get more. So like I said to the other guy, you want to approach this delicately using psychology and trade tactic, negotiation style trade tactics. Like, hey, what do you want to do? Let's do a trade. I want your Bijan. I'm not trading Bijan. Whatever. Okay. Well, what other running backs do you have? I have Achane. Okay. Well, I have Walker, but I'm not giving you Walker for Achane straight up. Like, if I did give you Walker for Achane, what else would you give me to like close that gap a little bit? And he's either going to say nothing, I'm not trading you, and then you know. Or he says, well, it depends on what the other piece is. You got him. You got him.
Got him.
And you try to get that other piece. But that's how you negotiate a trade. You don't just say, hey, can I have your Achane? Because then he's going to go, well, wait a minute. No. Because you want him for Walker? Is he that valuable? Hell no, I'm not trading Achane now. I can get Kenneth Walker. What else can I get? Derrick Henry for James Cook and Michael Pittman. Look, I'm all about getting rid of Henry, and I know he's hard to trade. But he had a big game. You got to think you could get more than this. Go for a wide receiver. I know you probably want a running back, but you could get a Devontae Smith, a Ridley, and something. This isn't bad. These aren't bad players, but this is not good enough return for Derrick Henry. I just think you can get a whole lot more. So try for more. Wait, did I miss something? Are we selling K9? We're selling. I mean, I've talked about this for 2 shows in a row. We're selling K9 if we can get an Ekeler, if we can get an Achane and something. We're selling K9 off of the fact that if you're a K9 owner, it's time to just recognize that there is some holding your breath that goes on during a Seattle Seahawks game where it's like, is he going to get the volume in this game? And he finally gets a touchdown. You kind of wipe the sweat from your forehead and you say the touchdowns are saving him. And they could continue to save him. They love using him in the goal. Like, he's so successful punching these touchdowns in. I don't think that they're going to turn. They look at him like they're Monty. Like, they're near the goal line. Let's give it to K9. He'll get it done. So the touchdowns could still be there. But you got to ask yourself, like, they're starting to use Charbonnet a lot. And I just feel like if you own Kenneth Walker, K9, that's who K9 is, some of you are asking. It's time to just explore some of the value he has. It's not getting rid of him for anything. It's that Ekeler can be had right now for K9. You know, Achane and Debo could be had for K9. Achane and another player could be had for K9. You could get Achane and Christian Watson for K9. So it's time to explore it. It doesn't mean we do it, but you know, if the deal's not great, but it is time to explore it. And that's coming from an adjust and adapt specialist that doesn't just hang on to a Moon Man or Mars Man, even if they're popping off. Like, I recognize when I see something maybe trending in a way that I don't know that I love it in terms of usage and just him lucking out and getting touchdowns. But I also feel like I see a guy like Ekeler getting undervalued. So it just depends, bro. But Josh right here, what's the $20 hauler?
Alert. Super chat alert.
Joshy boy, thank you, pal. Appreciate you. What's up, Smitty? Standard League. I have AR5, Monty, Achane, Jacobs, Ekeler, Waddle, St. Brown. Awesome team. Would you flip Ekeler for Chase and Laporta? I don't think so. I think Ekeler could win this league for you. And I need a tight end or Chase and Dell. I don't make this move. I think you might need a tight end, but you don't need anything else. So, like, why panic? Why not just hit the waiver wire till you get it right? Why not pick up a couple crafty plays? Look at the waiver wire. Maybe somebody gets dropped. I don't make trades because of it. I don't dismantle what you have. You have an arsenal. I'm trading Jacobs, though. Go trade Jacobs for Jamar Chase. I'm not saying you'll get it done, but like Jacobs and something. You got to have other bench pieces. Maybe you got like a Nico Collins. Jacobs and Nico could get you somebody. Maybe trade Jacobs for Mark Andrews. Maybe trade Jacobs for Laporta and you probably won't get Chase, but like Laporta, does he have a Debo? Does he have something else? But like Jacobs is your trade piece, not Monty, Achane, or Ekeler, not AR5, not Waddle, not St. Brown. This is a really good squad. Josh, you have a winning team. Be creative with Jacobs, and that's it, pal. And I appreciate your super chat. And if the chat disagrees, toss out an idea, but I think that's the move to make. Smitty, start AR or Love? You start AR. You start AR. How many times, Recovery, do we got to say it? Start AR.
To the
You got AR. Use them. This was, look, I didn't say start Love last week. I said start AR across the board. He's a top 5 quarterback. AR5 needs to start over Burrow, over Love, over T. Law, over Kirk Cousins, over almost every quarterback, but maybe 3 or 4 quarterbacks. AR5 is a top 5 lock. There's no equivocation, no stuttering in my voice. I don't have any hesitation. It's AR5. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Love's amazing to a degree, even though people keep crapping on Love over and over when he's on pace for 40-plus total touchdowns. But it's AR5. AR5 is an absolute monster, and it doesn't even matter if this doesn't work out this week. The same answer is next week or every week is AR5, unless he's on a bye week. AR5, AR5. The answer is AR5. Got offer Pittman and ETN for my Nico. Yeah!
Got him.
Got offer Pittman and ETN for my Nico. This is crazy. Nico needs to be sold. Sell Nico Collins. I like him. I'm not saying he's not good, but sell Nico Collins. You can get ETN. You can get Cooper Kupp. You can get Achane. I'm telling you, I had 2 people tell me about it. One said he got it done. The other said the offer is on the table. Nico Collins. His Nico Collins sent away, and he get back Achane. I don't even understand it. I like Nico a lot, but you need to sell Nico. That trade is a smash. You better do it, and you better do it live. Smitty, should I trade Tank Dell and Ridley to acquire St. Brown? St. Brown's injured right now. So, I don't want to say... The answer is yes, I'd rather have St. Brown, but he's banged up. Ridley might be a tad safer, honestly, at this moment in time, but that could change. I guess I'd probably rather have St. Brown. But I just want to, let you know. Acquire St. Brown, 12-man league. Probably rather have St. Brown, but it is close, and keep in mind he is banged up. KH3, appreciate you. QB, Love, Kamara, Taylor, CD, Garrett Wilson, Watson, Kincaid, Dobbs, Gallup, Fields, Dotson, any moves, 3-1. PPR without scoring 100 points yet. That's crazy, you're 3-1 without scoring 100 points yet. But Love is playing well. Do you put Fields in? I mean, you got Fields on the bench now. When Fields, you must have benched Fields last week. That was probably a little painful to watch, but I mean, he's a Thursday night game, so it's a little concerning. Thursday night games are crazy, but I think Jordan Love is a good play on this Monday night football matchup too, though. So I could understand. Maybe we decide on that one later. But Kamara, JT, you're banking on JT. I mean, this is a good team. The only thing I'm looking to maybe flip whatsoever is Garrett Wilson into a Breece Hall. Garrett Wilson and something into and I don't know if you have anything. Maybe you use Fields this big week to a QB needy team. It's probably the best move you could make. Garrett Wilson and Fields to a QB needy team for a better wide receiver than Garrett Wilson. That is probably the only move you can pull off right now, unless you trade Fields straight up for a Breece Hall and you keep everything else. That's the only thing you can maybe do. Go to those QB needy teams, see what they need, try and make some offers. If JT was to start this week, should I swap him in for Gibbs or Pacheco? You got to do Gibbs for now. You got to put Pacheco in there. Pacheco's on fire. Ridley current in my flex. Tyreek, Sun God, or wire. Yep. Look, Gibbs could get into the discussion here, but you got to wait till he does something. $5 hauler, 0.5, 2-2. Team is Love, AJ Brown, Watson, Bijan, Achane, Walker, Ferguson. Any moves or stashes? Again, like the other owner, you need to go to the owners that are struggling at QB and try and use Fields. I would try and use Walker to get Ekeler. I like the fact that you have 3 RBs and you have 2 really good wide receivers, and I consider Christian Watson a really good wide receiver. So, quarterback upgrade would be nice, I suppose, if I was going to do anything at all. Maybe a Kirk, maybe a Christian Watson, even though that would leave you, with Dell as your wide receiver too. But whatever could get me into a Hurts, if I could trade Fields and Christian Watson, or Fields and Kirk, probably not likely with Kirk, but you could try to get into a Jalen Hurts. And if you've got to take, let's say, your A.J. Brown and dilute A.J. Brown into a Devontae Smith, let's say the Hurts owner had Devontae Smith, ironically, and Hurts, just to give you an example. I would trade A.J. Brown down to Devontae Smith to move Love or Fields into Jalen Hurts, type of move. Like, and use the other wide receiver they may have. That's probably the most crafty move that team could make, and be an absolute force after that. Which 2 players, this is from Not Quani, players do I trade? Waddle, Judy, Dell, JT, Achane, trying to see if I can do a Waddle and Achane for JJ. That I'm not saying that I wouldn't take JJ, but that would be, an arguable trade. I'd rather you keep Achane out of this, to be honest. I mean, get Achane's name out of your mouth. I'd probably say maybe you go after using JT and Waddle for JJ more so, and JT might have a little bit more firepower potentially, but even that I'd try and get something back. But yeah, that would be something. I don't know that you want to overpay for JJ. He's balling out. Like, I would go after a different receiver, bro. I'd go after I don't know. There's plenty of wide receivers doing that I think you're going to do well that you could buy and do it a lot cheaper, But I don't know that you need to make a move. These are very good players. Waddle, JT, Achane. I don't think I need to move any of those guys. If you needed to, try and maybe wait until JT gets traded. If JT got traded, let's say tomorrow, there'd be such buzz around him, you could trade him for a ton. Achane deserves to get you a freaking Jamar Chase. He does. He deserves to get you anybody but maybe Tyreek Hill and JJ and maybe Diggs. He really should get the 4th or 5th wide receiver straight up in a trade. So, Not Quantity, if you can't get that value, don't include him in trades. I think Achane does it one more week, you're gonna get that value. Gibbs and Breece to get Ekeler. I would take Ekeler in a millisecond, and that's coming from somebody that loves the other 2 players quite a bit. Boone, appreciate you. 12-team.5. Josh Allen, Waddle, London, MT, Jameson, QJ, K9, Breece, JT, Achane, Rashad White, Kelsey. I'm 0-4. Any advice? Your team is really good for being 0-4. That's crazy. You're lacking at wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2 if you want to look at Waddle as your cheap wide receiver 1. I'd say maybe Ridley is a good target for you. I'd say maybe Christian Watson would be a good target for you. I don't know if you could get rid of Rashad White and a London, or Rashad White and MT, or Rashad White and Addison, or Rashad White, Addison, and London to get a little bit of a Debo, or I'd honestly even take Christian Watson. I think that could be a crafty move for you. I don't move JT, Breece, Achane. I'm only using Rashad White, London, MT to make that move. The rest of your team's fire. Don't dilute it at all. Those are strong. You have a strong team. You're going to come around, bro. Your team is very, very good. I think you probably played some high scores if I had to guess. $10 hauler from my boy Who Dat Gator coming in strong. 10-team 2-2. Burrow, Purdy, Swift, Achane, Walker, Gibbs, Sharps, Tyreek, Garrett Wilson, Evans. Very good, strong team. Was offered Kelsey for Swift. I would take, because you've got 2 amazing RBs in Walker and Achane. I know Walker's on a bye, but maybe you throw Gibbs in and you get lucky this week. I would probably trade Swift for Kelsey in a heartbeat. Not to mention I draft Kelsey ahead, so it's not like positional need is going to influence me too much anyway, because you can't turn down that value. You can always make another trade, but I would do that trade if I was you. Traded Javonte and Pickens for Waddle. What do you think? I would take Waddle in a millisecond. I think you got him hardcore on that one.
Got him.
I don't think you smashed him at all, bro. You didn't even take him to dinner. Warren or Sanders all season? Probably Sanders, but for trade reasons. Like on the year, I do envision Warren, I guess, being better down the stretch. But like when you factor in that Warren won't do much for a while, like on the year, they'll probably be Sanders. But I would definitely trade Sanders if I could. I'm trying to trade one of them, RBs and Laporta. Of those RBs and Laporta. Kincaid is my other tight end. I got Walker on a bye this week, and I picked up McLaughlin. Okay, so like maybe like a Laporta and Sanders for Breece Hall. Laporta for Gibbs if you want to take that gamble. ETN is attainable, it appears. People are getting ETN for Nico Collins. So I think there's opportunities there for those guys. $10 hauler from Dilly. Thank you, Dilly, and thank you to my previous super chatters, especially Dawson and Who Dat Gator and Boone and Charles and everybody, the recovery, Josh, Racing Boy, Cheese, Eason, Lego, Noah, all you guys. 2-2 record, 12-team PPR, Mahomes, Adams, Amon-Ra, Dell, Godwin, CMC, Hall, Waller. This team's amazing. Should I trade CMC for Lamb, Pearson, Pacheco? Only if you like losing. No, Smitty disapproved. Look, you trade CMC right now, Dilly. You got to get like Tyreek Hill and Achane. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? You trying to... This is what I'm talking about, self-sabotage. Dilly, I'm just coaching you. Don't take it the wrong way. But that's self-sabotage. You're trying to, like, destroy the team. You got to hold what you can... What's going nuts. You want the... You feel like the wave's going to crash, but you can't think like that. Trade my Richardson, Nakua, Swift for Tua and Chase. No, sirree. Nakua and Swift is better than Chase, and Richardson's better than Tua, or at least equal if you love Tua. So the answer is no. Disapproved on that one, Miles, but I still appreciate you, pal. You're my broski. Alec coming in with a $2 hauler. Wide receiver half PPR, JJ and Puka. Flex Addison or Hollywood. I'm gonna probably flex Addison this week, but it could go either way. Trust your gut. That's a close call. $5 hauler from Ryan. What should I do to improve my team? Fields, Dobbs, Najee. I hate everything. I like Fields' upside, but I hate how it's been going. But I can't stand Najee, B-Rob, or Saquon really, and the wide receivers. It says Hunter Henry, or is that Derrick Henry? Is that Derrick Henry? God, those are a grip of avoids for me. The Najee, the B-Rob, the Saquon, the Derrick Henry. That's straight across the board. Lockett, who's actually can be good. So, Ayuk, Hollywood. I don't know what to do here other than you've got to send out some 2-for-1s like mad, like Najee and B-Rob for one running back. Najee and Saquon for Achane and get something else in return. Maybe you upgrade Lockett by giving them Saquon. I don't know. Maybe they don't think Saquon's an upgrade from Achane, but you can only try. So Saquon for Achane swap, and then you get Lockett moved up to Devontae Smith or something like that, or Debo. Like those moves I'm looking at. B-Rob and sell Ayuk high and go get freaking Bijan on the cheap, or Ekeler who's on a bye week, or JT or Achane. Yeah, I mean you Ridley using Lockett and maybe you keep Ayuk, but Lockett and B-Rob for Ridley and something. You could buy St. Brown for B-Rob and Lockett probably. Like those are some moves I make, but I get rid of Saquon. Henry for Achane straight up. Henry for Devontae Smith straight up. Henry for Ridley and something. And try and get more if you can on those deals. Like ask a little more. Don't just assume you're not going to be able to get it. Devar with his super chat. I think Devar is the one saying I missed his super chat. Trade Love, Kyren, Kirk for Hurts and Pollard. I would take Hurts and Pollard and run. I like Kyren. He's playing phenomenal, but you got to take that trade. That's a smash. That's an easy peasy Hurts side of that trade smash. QB Goff, Dobbs, Bijan, Walker, Sharbs, Jaleel, McLaughlin, Sun God, Christian Watson, Ingram. What moves to make? The Walker for Ekeler is a move I really like. The rest of your team I like quite a bit. I would love to see you get into like a Tua using a. I mean, Ingram's a nice piece to trade because people want to fix their tight end room, and maybe you can get rid of like Goff for an Ingram for a QB upgrade. Maybe you could go get Tua, and just give yourself some firepower, and then you just grab another tight end and you try and make do. And there's some good tight ends out there, and Ingram has an injury history to where it's like maybe you escape that and you end up getting Tua for free in a sense at the end of it all. Hey, Smitty, Q Richardson, Achane, Swift, Hill, Ridley, fantastic team. Puka, great. Watson, love it. Dell, rate my team. I mean, I love it. I don't know that there's anything to even move because if unless you upgrade Swift into Ekeler somehow or upgrade Swift into, JT. Like I would take either one of those trades, and if you had to throw in, let's say, a Dell or even a Gibbs to get that upgrade, I would probably do it. But you could just stand pat, bro. That team is freaking amazing. This is a good squad. I'd definitely give it like an 8 out of 10 type of team. With upside for. I always live a little upside when I ranked players, teams, or owners' teams, but I mean, you've definitely got one of those teams where I could say very confidently you're in the top 5. Like, you could win it all. I would not be shocked if you won it all. Someone offered me Ekeler for my Hill or Achane. Not Hill. Hill's worth more than Ekeler, and Achane is probably pretty even, to be honest with you. Would I take Ekeler over Achane? If I had a lot of shares of Achane, I would diversify in this situation to get Ekeler, but only in that case. If this is your only share of Achane, I don't know that I'm going to be sending it off because you don't want to miss what's about to happen. Kenneth with a super chat, 12-team PPR, trade Pacheco and Thielen for Olave. I'd rather have Olave, but that's a very, very solid, offer, and Pacheco could earn his keep there. Start one, full PPR, Komet, Henry, Ertz, Musgrave, Conklin. Probably going to go Komet. He's coming off a big game. He's just the safest move of that group, but anything can happen. Trust your gut. Henry, DJ Moore for Bijan. This is from Tank. Let's see. Henry, DJ Moore for Bijan or Henry. First of all, Bijan and Henry and Lamb. Wait, hold on. Henry and DJ Moore for Bijan. I take Bijan in a millisecond. Henry and Lamb for Ekeler and Watson. Wow. I'd probably trade Henry and Lamb for Watson and Ekeler. But it's really, really close. And it's just because I think Ekeler is going to be really strong down the stretch. And I think Watson is going to be really good too. Should I trade my Debo for Ridley? I would take Ridley personally, but I think they're very, very close. I think Debo is getting a lot of disrespect right now, as is Ridley. $10 hauler from my boy Grizzly. Grizzly, appreciate you coming in strong. QB Hurts, love running back Walker, Swift, Gibbs. This is good. Kincaid 1 and 3 need a win. Grab Chase plus what would I have to give up for Jamar Chase? You'd probably have to give up Swift. Gibbs is not going to get it done. Walker could get Jamar Chase maybe, and I don't know that I love that because Chase has some risk to his name, but maybe if there's a struggling owner, you could send them Love and something and get, let's say the Chase owner had struggles at QB, but I think I wouldn't touch Bijan. I wouldn't touch Walker. I don't want Chase for Walker. I think Chase is a lot of risk. It's fun risk to invest in if you buy him low, but I don't know that that's the low value we're talking about. Swift would be probably the guy if you wanted to go that route. I don't think you could get him using Ingram and Watson or anything else. Maybe Garrett Wilson and Ingram for Chase if they need a tight end. That might be a move, but it'd have to be Swift, Grizzly. And would I give up a tiny bit more? Maybe, but I probably would for Chase. I think Chase is still a good buy low in the right from the right angle and vantage point. Would you trade Love for JT straight up? G Money, of course. I mean, if it's a super flex, it's a little different question, but you didn't say that, so I'm going to assume it's not, and I'm going to assume you have a quarterback. So definitely feel like I would take that in a heartbeat. That's a great one. Trade Chase for Ridley and Swift. I would take Ridley and Swift, and I probably would. I wouldn't say like run like it's super disrespectful, but I'd say that side's winning. Desperate for a running back. Who should I target with one of my wide receivers? I got Kupp, Amon-Ra, Judy, and Higgins. I don't know if you can afford to. Like, Judy and Higgins aren't doing anything for you, and you got Amon-Ra and Kupp. Like, you trade one of those, what are you going to do? You're going to be desperate for a wide receiver. But would I give up Kupp for Achane and Watson? Go to the Watson owner, see what RB they could throw in. Go to the Achane owner, see if they got a Debo or a Watson or somebody that could be thrown in. Then we're talking. Then I'm trading Kupp or Amon-Ra for Achane and that wide receiver. You know, you get someone sleeping at the wheel, that's good stuff. $10 hauler from Recovery coming in
To the moon.
with fire once again. He's just a monster. I'm 4-0, mostly because of your advice. No, because of you, Recovery, because you know what you're doing and you absorb things like a sponge and you discard the bad, you take in the good, and you take responsibility for your own team too. And I'm proud of you, pal. 4-0. That's you, bro. But I appreciate the comments. Smitty, I appreciate you. So one of my league mates wants Dallas D really bad, and she has Hall. I would take the Dallas D's they're like the top 10. They're like a top 10 overall player. If you need an RB very badly and you could get like the Ravens, or you think you're going to be pretty good on a D, I would probably take Breece Hall, I guess, but the Dallas D's on fire. I would maybe make them pay a little more. I would look, if they want them bad, they'll give you Hall and something. If they got a decent defense that they're giving back, like the Ravens or something, then you probably do that trade. You know what I mean? Or the Eagles or whatever. Help 1 and 3: Mahomes, Walker, Gibbs, Kamara, Charbonnet, Olave, Dell, JSN, Rice, Kittle, Kmet. 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, PPR, redraft, QB premium, 1 point per passing completion. Mahomes, Walker, Gibbs, Kamara. I would say, look, you're waiting on Gibbs, right? You got Olave. He's fantastic. Kmet, Kittle, that's probably your only way to a different trade. Like, you give up Gibbs and Kmet, Gibbs and Kittle, and maybe get a slight upgraded running back. You're obviously not going to get an Achane, but you would certainly try. You're probably not going to get any sort of like big name player, but maybe you could trade for a wide receiver like Devontae Smith using Kittle or Kmet, their choice. Let them choose, and you give them potentially QB premium 1 point. Okay. Kittle or Kmet and Gibbs for Devontae Smith, for Ridley, for a player of that level, especially the ones that are being doubted. I mean, even Kittle or Kmet and Gibbs for like Debo would work. And G-Men, then I think you're in the money. You're in the hunt. J-Fam says love Madison, Godwin, Ford for AJ Brown and K9. Come on, J-Fam. Like that. First of all, AJ Brown is worth more than Love, Madison, Godwin, and Ford all together, and K9 is worth more than all those together. So if you're making this offer, you're going to get the door slammed in your face. If this offer is out there, smash it, come back and tell us, and we'll celebrate and hit the got him button, because that's crazy for just one of those guys. $5 hauler, would it be crazy to trade Christian Watson and Ridley for AJ Brown? I think that's a bit much. I like AJ Brown a lot, but you're buying on the spike. Like, he's gonna fall back down a little bit, and Devontae Smith will go nuts, and then they'll rotate. Like, don't buy on the increase. Need help. Got offered Diggs and Breece for my JJ and Pacheco. Diggs and Breece is not enough. Diggs is awesome, but Breece is not where he needs to be yet. And the fact that he's asking for Pacheco on top of it is trying to even the trade out in terms of the RBs. And then you're going to give him JJ? Absolutely not. Even if he took Pacheco out, that might not be enough. Diggs and Breece eventually could be, but I'd hold JJ. JJ's worth more than that. He needs to overpay, or he doesn't get to even talk to JJ. You don't even let him look at JJ on your roster. 12-team, half PPR. I'm looking to upgrade my third flex spot. Have Thielen there now. Trade Andrews for Ridley. I would probably do that if you feel like you're going to be okay. You got Laporta, so you will. I would definitely do that. That's a good move. I think Ridley's getting totally undervalued right now. I can't believe how disrespectful people are to Ridley. Joey B, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, Kirk, K9, Aaron Jones, Goddard, 0-4. Rap, I don't know what to tell you here other than you got to wait on Aaron Jones to bounce back. K9's on a bye. That sucks. Amon-Ra is solid but banged up. Garrett Wilson, hopefully he bounces back. Joey B's been hurt. You got rattled, which is the worst combination of things. But maybe you can get rid of K9 for Ekeler, like I've been talking. Maybe you can get rid of K9 for JT and something. If you could get like a K9 for Achane and Debo or something, I think you really give yourself a shot of making a huge run. But Ekeler is definitely one of my favorite go-gets for people in your situation. Do I trade Olave for Puka and Breece? I would take Puka and Breece, and I would probably run. And that's no disrespect to Olave. It is what it is. And you got two players that can help win that trade individually. AJB, Madison, and Hunter Henry for Breece, Cook, and Olave. I would take Breece, Cook, and Olave over AJB, Madison, and Hunter Henry because AJB and Olave are closer than people are making it out to be right now, and you get that extra RB swing, bro, and a big one. $5 hauler current roster is 1 QB Hurts, AR5. You got to trade one of those QBs while you can. They're both hot. Or keep Hurts and trade AR5 because you'll get a ton. Bijan, Hall, Gibbs, Stevenson, Ridley, Evans, Collins. Trade QB for an upgrade. Exactly what I was thinking, and I'd probably go along the lines of Devontae Smith up. Ridley is probably enough, I think, but you could probably get even a little more. Cooper Kupp, probably pretty easy to get right now for a QB like that. But you have to go to the QB needy teams and go for a wide receiver, 1 for 1. You don't even need to do these things. Smitty throwing K9 into all these trades makes me want to sell K9. Only corn on the cob, only sell him if you're selling him for an amazing amount of value. ETN and Smith for Hill or Ekeler. I think that's too. ETN and Smith, Devontae Smith. First of all, I guess Hill and Ekeler are both worth it. Hill's probably the most valuable, so I would say depends overcome of what your depth looks like. But I'm leaning toward Hill, but I'd really be curious to know what depth you have. That's a tough one. Tony Garcia with a $20 hauler. Joshua Daniels with a $20 hauler, and Dave with a $20 hauler. You guys are absolute monsters. Appreciate you all. Let me throw your super chats on the screen and celebrate you gentlemen. Appreciate you. Let's start off with Dave, and let's throw a little 20 wad at Dave's face. Dave, appreciate you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Dave, appreciate you, my guy. Dave says, good stuff. Thanks, Smitty, to the moon. Any trade ideas? 10-man, 2 and 2 PPR QB, AR5, Love, Fields, Ekeler, Walker, Algier, St. Brown, Adams, Watson, Dobbs, Laporta, Goddard. Defense, New Orleans. I mean, same thing applies, bro. What team is QB needy? And if not, then the only other option you have is maybe, I mean, you're 2 and 2 and your team's great. St. Brown and Adams and Watson, you're fine. Laporta, you're fine. Goddard, you got a backup there. Your quarterbacks, you're backed up. Ekeler, Walker, I mean, you could use like a Breece Hall or an Achane using, maybe a quarterback. Like if you could get a Breece Hall or Achane using one of your quarterbacks, keep it AR5. Trade Fields. Fields has some trade value right now. Fields and Dobbs for Devontae Smith. Fields and Watson for Devontae Smith. A Ridley, a JT, a Cooper Kupp, a Achane, a Breece Hall. Like just any of those gives you that extra little oomph, and I think maybe the RB support would help you, and you're really good at wide receiver. So Dobbs and Fields for like Breece Hall would be fantastic. Even Fields for Gibbs or something would be fantastic for your team. That's a great team, bro. And we're gonna do bunk bed style $20 haulers for Tony Garcia and Josh Daniel. Dollar bills on the left are going to Josh, on the right going to Tony. Let's bunk bed this.
Alert. Super chat alert.
That's what I'm talking about. Josh Thanks for the feedback on Ekeler. Smitty, what are your thoughts on Montgomery? Would you trade him straight up for Devontae Adams? I think if you needed a wide receiver, I could get behind that. If you needed a running back, I could get behind that. I give Adams a tiny bit more value than Monty, but I think Monty can be sold high. And I think that if Monty goes out and has a mediocre game, he's a top 5 running back value goes out the window for people. And even if it returns and goes back and forth, people will feel he's inconsistently going to be running back 1 to running back 2 material. So Devontae Adams is a good go-get. But do I flip Devontae? Do I actively shop Devontae? I actively shop both these guys. They're Monty's great, but they're 2 players I would actively constantly try and sell high, just because that's the nature of my tactic. Is if I've got a player that has enormous trade value, I'm always going to explore it. Someone offered you Henry for Monty. No, look, Monty's better than Henry right now. It's crazy to say that. It's tempting. Like, if you could get another player, then maybe I'd consider it, and then I'd try and flip Henry. But Henry's a big risk. There's some allure, but there's also a lot of risk. Tony, thank you again for the $20 hauler, bro. Appreciate you, Josh. Appreciate you, Dave. Appreciate you, Tony. 10-man grandma league, 0-4. 0-4 in a grandma league. What are we doing here, bro? The grandmas are working you over. FYI, 6 teams go to the playoffs. My team is Herbs, Diggs, Nakua, Watson, Metcalf, Palmer, Henry, Ford, Kamara, JT. Oh, you're waiting on the Kamara JT. You're a sleeping giant, Tony. These grandmas don't think you're coming to bingo. They think you aren't showing up at all. They don't realize that you've got B5 and E11 about to hit on the bingo card. You've got Kamara and JT. You're going to come in swinging. Try and sell Waller to one of the old grannies because you got Laporta. Try and sell Fields if you can. That's your move, bro. Herbert's your starter. I get you don't have him this week, so maybe you can't make this move unless you can pick up a quarterback and start him, but you probably have to play him this week. But maybe after this week, if you guys have another good game, you could sell Fields away. But you've got a good team. Diggs, Nakua, Watson, phenomenal. Metcalf, phenomenal. You don't have to touch this team. These grandmas don't know what's coming for them. And I don't know if that's Derrick Henry. But if that's Derrick Henry, then maybe you do go trade for a Devontae Smith. You go trade for, I don't know, maybe you trade Herbert and Henry for Mahomes, who hasn't been scoring like he people want him to. That might be the best move to make. If that's Derrick Henry, I'd use Derrick Henry to upgrade my quarterback because I think that's going to only be something you can do for so long. Chief, trade Brian Robinson for Gibbs and Kincaid. I'd take the chance on Gibbs before I'd take the chance on B-Rob continuing to do well. I know a lot of people are going to get mad at me for that because they're going to say, Smitty, you have no respect for Brian Robinson, but I just think Gibbs has still got a lot of value, and people are, after 4 weeks, pretending in week 10 he can't emerge. Would you trade K9 for Watson and Stevenson? Absolutely not. That's not what I'm talking about with trading Watson. If anybody comes back and trades Watson for just anything, I'm going to be so upset. Stevenson's a big question mark. Kenneth Walker is not a question mark. It's just more about can you maximize values and go get an Ekeler right now? And the chances are you can. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Tank, you get sent to the moon for that. 12-man PPR, 3-1. Allen, Lamb, Godwin, Henry, Achane, Andrews, Dell, bench, DJ Moore, Sutton. That's a good team. Trade away Henry and DJ Moore for Bijan. I would do that, or Henry and Lamb for Ekeler and Christian Watson. I think I already got to this one. Maybe I already did that one. I did. Yeah, I'd take that. I mean, both of them are good, but I'd probably take that Ekeler and Watson side. I think I already answered that one. Okay, thank you for that super chat. Traded Hurts, Pittman for Ekeler. I have Stroud to replace him. Hurts and Pittman for Ekeler. I like that. I probably would roll the dice on that one. That's a good one. It hurts to trade Hurts, but Stroud's playing great, so that's a good move. Got offered Kamara for Achane. I'd rather have Achane, but trust your gut on that one. It's certainly arguable, I suppose, but I would not trade away Achane for players like that. Not at all. No, Achane's my guy. Who would be some good wide receivers to target for Monty? St. Brown, Olave, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Smith, CeeDee Lamb, Waddle, and something potentially. Debo and something potentially. But St. Brown, Olave, Kupp, Devontae Smith, Lamb are probably your best bets. I already have a Ridley and Olave. Okay, so there you go. And Ridley, yeah. So you're left with a few others. So you could go after St. Brown. You could go after Cooper Kupp and Devontae Smith. Or keep Monty as a backup. I don't keep him as a backup. I definitely cash in on this and improve your lineup. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having an extra player. Don't give him away. Don't just take the highest bidder, but try and actively trade him. Trade Jacobs for Waddle and Gabe Davis, or Ayuk and Pacheco. I'd probably trade Jacobs for either, but I'd rather have Ayuk and Pacheco right now. Ayuk is playing easily as well as what I think Waddle probably will play or could play, so why not take that with the Pacheco side? 4-0, Fields, CMC, James Cook, Achane, Olave, Nakua, Laporta, Dell, Amon-Ra. Get rid of Fields, was playing AR5 player last week, so try again. Yeah, keep trying to get rid of Fields. I would trade Fields. I mean, look, both of them went nuts last week, so it was no sweat off your brow trying to decide which one to play. You did the right move either way. But Fields and Cook, James Cook, should get you a JT or maybe get you some kind of crafty player like Cook and JT. Like, you could go CMC and Achane, and you could go Cook and Fields. Did I say JT? Cook and Fields for a wide receiver like St. Brown. Cook and Fields for St. Brown. Olave. You got Olave. Ridley. Cooper Kupp and Devontae Smith. Probably Cooper Kupp and Devontae Smith would be my favorite targets for you. But yeah, AR5 would be your quarterback going forward. Don't start Fields over AR5, even if Fields outscored him by a tiny bit. Smitty, what are you thinking trading Kamara, P. Ryan, and Javonte for Aaron Jones, Kupp? I'd take Aaron Jones and Kupp straight up. I don't even care if Javonte's in that deal. That would be a fantastic move. Kamara, P. Ryan, and Javonte for Aaron Jones, Kupp, and I'm sorry, is that Jameson Williams probably. So even if Jameson Williams wasn't included in that deal, I would take Aaron Jones and Kupp and I would run. That's a fantastic trade. Amazon Joe, appreciate you. Luke, Garrett Wilson or Calvin Ridley. I'd take Calvin Ridley and I would run. And that's no disrespect to Garrett Wilson. It's just his situation isn't the same as Ridley's. Damian Pierce, Deontay, and Achane for Bijan and Algier. Look, I'd probably take Bijan, but I don't know. Let me just put it this way. I know this sounds crazy, but if I didn't have any other shares of Achane, I'm not trading him. If you've got 5 different shares of Achane, you might as well hedge your bets a little bit and go get Bijan. It's understandable, but I'm just telling you, I don't know that I want to have no shares of Achane. Trying to set my starters, currently wide receiver Ridley Puka. Okay, Ridley Puka is good. Running back. Guys, by the way, we're going to be drafting. I don't know if we'll do it tonight. Or if we do one on the way out the door, but we probably do one on the way out the door. Smitty, code Smitty at Underdog Fantasy. I don't know that you get up to $500 deposit bonus match today any longer. You'll have to see. It might last through today or it might have ended today. So I'm not exactly positive, but you'll know. You'll get at least up to $100 bonus match using code Smitty. They'll double your first deposit. I've dropped the link and I've just pinned it in a live chat at the end of this. We'll probably do a draft. Okay, so we'll jump in. There's 626 of you in here right now. First of all, punch the thumb up button, but hit that link and sign up. Even if you don't plan on drafting right now, sign up so that you're ready to go for the next time. And if you do the minimum of $10, they'll give you the $10 double match, and you'll get at least $20 for the next time we draft. But we're gonna draft for a week 5 contest only. It's really short. It's 6 rounds. And it's 6 drafters in each slot, and we'll do that real quick before we leave. Trying to set my starters, currently wide receiver Ridley, Puka, running back Monty, Kyron, flex is Pollard, bench Jacoby Myers, Debo, Dell. So Kyron, Monty, flex Pollard, you can't sit any of those guys. Ridley, Puka, there's nothing you could do. Debo, I mean, you can't fit Debo in. Debo, unfortunately, is your bye week filler right now, but you've got good depth. I don't even know that I'd make any trades, but you've got it all set on a weekly basis. That's what you're gonna roll with. There's nothing to change there. I appreciate your super chat, by the way. Thank you very much. Nothing to change there. That's a really, really good team, and the depth of Debo kind of helps. I don't know that I'm just getting rid of it. I like your team. Hurts, $5 hauler, Hurts, Pollard, Kyron, Achane, Gibbs, Bigsby, Devontae Smith, Puka, Debo, Puka, Smith. Very good wide receivers. Diggs owner is 0-4. Trade Kyron and one more for him. Look, Kyron's playing amazing, but you have Pollard and Achane and Hurts. You got a good core there. I would probably give Dell I would give Dell, and Kyron, but you can't give like a Debo. You can't give. I don't think I'd even give like Gibbs, just because Kyron's playing that well. So I guess I would take Diggs over Kyron straight up, but I would give it Dell, but that's it. I don't think there's a move to make there other than that, because your team's good. Like, don't think Kyron's gonna break necessarily. I mean, you might wanna ride that train, man. $5 hauler. I traded Pacheco, Puka for Laporta, JT. I could get behind either side of this. I don't think either one of you want it. There's an argument to be made that Puka and Pacheco looking so good right now. A Moon Man looking good. Laporta, JT. I think the safeties with Puka and Pacheco, I think the upside, but the heavy risk is on the JT side. So that goes both ways. There's not a right or wrong answer to that one though. $20 hauler from Flair coming in. 10-team PPR, 2 flex, 4-0. You're doing the right things if you're 4-0. Allen, Bijan, Jacobs, Achane, Spears, Watson, Amari Cooper, Godwin, Judy. Any trades? I mean, the only thing I would look to do is potentially trade Jacobs, and I wouldn't mind like trading Jacobs for, given you've got Bijan and Achane, for a wide receiver. Like, you got CeeDee Lamb, Cooper, and Watson. I mean, if you can only start 3 wide receivers, I suppose maybe you don't. You maybe trade Godwin, or you maybe trade Watson and Jacobs for one big wide receiver like Diggs or slightly below Diggs level. But if you don't want to trade Watson, you could trade Godwin and Jacobs for a Ridley, Devontae Smith, a St. Brown, and a Olave, a Cooper Kupp. I would definitely do that if I was you. Past that, your team is 4-0 for a reason. I don't think I mess with much of it. Yoda coming in with a $5 10-man half PPR. I've got Herbert, Ekeler, Kyron, Achane. Unbelievable running back stable with Herbert, Breece Hall on the bench, AJ Brown, Olave, Ridley. There's nothing to move here. Advice 3-1. Yeah, let it ride, Yoda, because honestly, unless you're taking like a Komet or Waller, or maybe a Breece Hall and upgrading Herbert into Mahomes, which is what I would do, I guess, if I was you, or maybe even Jalen Hurts, there's nothing for you to do. That team is absolute straight fire. But go get Mahomes. That would be my only focus, I guess. Monty for Achane, I'd take Achane, but it's arguable, I mean, to some degree, and I understand where people might come from on Monty on that, but give me Achane. Sell Puka. Also trade Terry for Ridley and Tutu. I wouldn't even get greedy. I would take Ridley alone for Scary Terry. And Puka, I don't necessarily freak out and sell him, but I definitely would entertain a potential sale, given that Kupp is coming back, and I don't think he maintains the exact same value, but he's definitely somebody I don't freak out on. I think you get an Achane, you take it. You get a Ridley or somebody higher than that, you probably take it. But I think Puka and Ridley, one could argue Puka's still going to be more valuable than Ridley, and I could understand that, but I could also understand somebody saying, give me Ridley, give me St. Brown, give me Olave, give me Cooper Kupp, give me Devontae Smith, give me CeeDee Lamb, and I would take all those guys, I think, over Puka going forward. Obviously, you're not letting go of any of the points you've accumulated. Reese with a super chat but nothing attached. I'll keep you here and I'll try and find another message somewhere, but you got to understand, by the time I see this, your other messages are long gone. You got to include everything in the super chat. But I'll look for it later. Hung like Hernandez, give Achane for Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think if you need a wide receiver and you've got other shares of Achane, I would potentially take that. But I do think that if you don't have a lot of shares of Achane, I'd rather keep Achane. It's crazy, and it's risky, but it's look, he's that good right now. K9 for Ekeler straight up. I'd take Ekeler straight up and keep Charbonnet. Absolutely, Thomas. That's what I'm talking about. I think it's a potential win a league move. And that's coming from the guy that said draft Walker everywhere. So it's not that I'm freaking out about Walker. I'm just seeing the value difference in Ekeler right now than his draft value. And I'm looking at Walker saying, look, there are times where it's like the volume isn't quite there. The touchdowns have been there to save the day. And I don't know that I love Walker's value staying exactly where it is. I could see it dropping to like 8 or 9 or 10 overall for running backs versus being top 5 value right now. Traded my Kirk Cousins and Dameon Pierce for Ekeler. Smash. Got him.
Got him.
That's a great one. Starters, QB. Yeah. Jeez. Dalton smashing people left and right. Dalton, good job, bro. Good job. Thank you for the super chat. River, $5 hauler. Appreciate you. 12-team PPR, 2 flex, 1 and 3. Mahomes, Diggs, AJ Brown, ETN, JT. First of all, you're gonna come on strong. You got JT coming in, but man, how are you 1 and 3 with Mahomes has been kind of, but Diggs, AJ Brown, ETN, you're gonna be fine. There's no moves to make here. You sit and wait on this team. Unless you're getting ETN and trading ETN for Achane, you're trading ETN for. I mean, you will have. You do gotta make sure you get a running back because you got JT and ETN only. But man, that team is phenomenal. You know, ETN in London for Ekeler, and you go 1 and 4, and then you just roll with it. Look, Ekeler will be buy free, so if you could trade ETN and even like Amari Cooper, and then you get back like we already got Watson, so you can't use him as an example, but maybe like they don't like Debo or Devontae Smith, and you got Amari Cooper and they value Cooper more because he's been playing well. I mean, you trade ETN to the Ekeler owner and get that Amari Cooper perceived downgrade that you think is actually pretty close in value, and that's how you smash that trade. Try and do it 2 for 2. Play Christian Watson versus Las Vegas or Pickens versus the Ravens. I'm going to go because Pickett's injured and he'll probably play, but I'm going to go with Christian Watson. Easy. Who can I get for K9? Ekeler. We've been talking about it all show. Ekeler, JT and something, Achane and something, St. Brown and a running back, Breece Hall and a very good wide receiver. Those are all potentially 2 for 2 deals or somewhat around that territory. Esan with a $10 hauler. Esan, appreciate you. But Eckler's my favorite of those. This one's a $5 from Daniel. Daniel says, need 2 Addison, Ridley, Dotson. I'm going to go Addison and Ridley personally. Waller or Higbee. I probably go Higbee if he's healthy, but you got to make sure he's healthy. Yes, absolutely. Appreciate you. Thank you for your super chat. Jason, Goff, CMC, ETN, Achane, Sun God, Dobbs, K, Komet, benches, London, Sutton, Sharbs. Knee moves for a better wide receiver too. So Goff, I like upgrading Goff too. I like upgrading Goff more than your wide receiver too, because I could roll with London and Sun God and London, Sun God and Dobbs more than I like rolling with Goff. No offense to Goff, but if you could get him into a Tua using even one of the wide receivers, but I think like ETN, CMC, Achane, ETN straight up for Devontae Smith, ETN straight up for Olave, ETN straight up for Kupp, ETN for Lamb, ETN for Waddle and something, ETN for Christian Watson and a Breece Hall or something like that. I could totally get behind those, even though Christian Watson doesn't feel like a total amazing wide receiver 2 to you. I think he will in time. So Jason, those are all moves I would make with that team. Appreciate your super chat. $5 hauler from Trust Riv. Appreciate you, Trust. Traded Scary Terry and Mostert for Aaron Jones and Addison. I love that. Already have Amon-Ra, Devontae. Any opinions? I like your team. I think that was a good move. I contemplate selling Nico Hollins on the high. If you could trade Nico and like a Gibbs for an Achane, if you could trade Nico and let's say an Aaron Jones for an Ekeler, I probably would do that. Those would be moves that I would be tempted to make. I like your team though. I don't think you have to do anything. You did good on that one trade. QB Fields, this is $5 from Burglar. Appreciate you. Fields, Stroud, Devontae Adams, Puka, DJ Moore, Dobbs, Ayuk, CMC, Achane. Your running backs are off the hook. 2-2, 2-win streak, looking to improve. Wide receivers are really, really good. Would I contemplate an Adams like downgrade into Devontae Smith, Olave, Lamb, Waddle, Debo to get that extra RB potentially, or some quarterback upgrade? Probably more so quarterback upgrade. So if you could take Fields or Stroud and use Devontae Smith and downgrade Devontae Smith, go to that Hurts, Mahomes, and Tua owner and see if you can like lateral step D Adams into a wide receiver you love, or Puka into a wide receiver you love, and do the quarterback swap. That's really the main thing I'd be focusing on with this team. That's the only thing that would really be on my mind. Ernie, appreciate you with a $5 12 PPR QB heavy. Offered Mahomes for my Burrow, Breece, Offered Mahomes for my Burrow, Breece, Dell, and rest of team is Achane. Yeah, I would take Mahomes in a millisecond, my broski, in a millisecond. I would also very much like AR5, and I would give up Burrow and like Dell and something. I'd also trade Barkley for Ekeler somehow, some way. Like if you had to give up a Nico Collins type. Diggs, Pickett, Ridley. You got, Ridley and Diggs are phenomenal. You've got Kyron. I would definitely consider trading, like even Garrett Wilson and Barkley for Ekeler and something would be great. And the quarterback upgrade's a definite, must look-see. Cole, appreciate you with the $5 hauler with nothing attached. Again, you got to attach it, guys. I'll go looking for messages after. But by the time I get to the super chat, it's your comments surrounding it are long gone, so I'll have to go look for it after. So hang tight. Please try and attach it when you message it. Young, I got appreciate you. I'm 1-3. Love Walker, Achane, Madison, Chase, Olave, Andrews, D Hop, Russell Wilson, Ford, Higgins. Any moves? I don't think Higgins has got much value standalone, but when you throw him into a deal, sometimes people see the upside, like, oh, he's extra and he might get better. And so, like, if you were to trade, I would trade Higgins and D Hop, Higgins and Andrews, whatever, with my quarterback to upgrade into Hurts, into Mahomes, and maybe into Tua using a smaller move like Hopkins and Love for Tua, or Russell Wilson and Hopkins and Higgins for like Tua or above. Like, I really think that would be a strong move for you. I also strongly consider trading Walker for Ekeler. I also strongly consider trading Hopkins and Chase for Ekeler as well. And then you could try and maneuver maybe some other trade for a wide receiver. Like, you could then trade Walker for a wide receiver and go after, Ridley plus something, or Walker for St. Brown, Walker for Olave plus, Walker for Kupp and maybe something, or straight up if you want to take the risk, or Devontae Smith plus something for Walker. You could kind of do a wide receiver for running back trade and running back for a wide receiver trade. But I definitely like the idea of getting a better quarterback, to be honest with you. That would be the thing I'd focus on with that team. Manuel, and not that I don't like Jordan Love, I just think that there's some buy lows right now that I absolutely love, like Jalen Hurts. Smitty, the GOAT, appreciate you. Start two, wide receiver spot, wide receiver 2 spot, and a flex. Christian Watson, Ridley. I mean, you're starting Watson and Ridley. I feel a Gibbs explosion this week. Well, if you feel that way, trust your gut, man. And if you had to sit somebody, don't sit Ridley. But I think you got really good options. And at some point, I really truly hope, for all of our sakes, especially yours, my guy, that Gibbs gives us a dilemma that we can, with a smile, be like, damn, who do I start now? Olave for Wilson and Cook. I'd rather have Olave, to be frank, but that's close and arguable, depending on if you need the depth or didn't need the depth on either side of that trade. Trade JT and B-Rob for Bijan. I'd probably rather have Bijan, but I think JT might actually be pretty exciting here soon. But there's more risk. I'd rather take Bijan. Help, I'm 1-3. Josh Allen, Achane, ETN, Garrett Wilson, Waddle, Pittman, JT. You're 1-3 because JT hasn't come back to save the day yet. So now that you got JT coming in there with the 3 RBs, assuming you can play all 3 of them, Waddle, Garrett Wilson is not half bad, bro. You could potentially trade Laporta because he's got a lot of value with Garrett Wilson or with Pittman, or all 3 of them, to try and go get that Devontae Smith, Ridley, Olave, Lamb, Kupp upgrade to go next to your Waddle, so Waddle can be a fantastic wide receiver 2, and you can get that wide receiver 1 up in there, and then it's game over potentially. Mark Cleveland with a $10 hauler. Mark Cleveland to the freaking moon. I love my boy Mark Cleveland, who says Watson or Wilson for Pacheco. I'd give up I'd probably give up Garrett. I'd probably rather have Christian Watson than Garrett Wilson, but by a hair, and that could change with the quarterback upgrade or some sort of like miracle with the run game that opens up the pass. And Garrett Wilson's been sniffing the end zone so much, and it's like he could have like 6 touchdowns if he would have caught some passes and the throws weren't overthrown. And it's crazy to imagine what he probably has 6-7 touchdowns with Aaron Rodgers. I'm so frustrating. Makes me want to break this mallet every time I think about Aaron Rodgers tearing that Achilles tendon. What a disaster that one injury was. My other running backs are Pollard, Stevenson, and Madison. I do need to trade for Pacheco? You kind of do. I like your team a lot. I think you could afford to trade one of them. I guess Garrett Wilson for Pacheco seems safe. Chat, can we get a vote here? Would you trade Garrett Wilson or Christian Watson for Pacheco if you were Mark Cleveland? Can you please say what you would have him do? Pacheco or Watson? Trade Watson or trade Wilson for Pacheco? Please drop the name in the chat for Mark Cleveland. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you very much for your super chat and all your support over the years. Mark Cleveland to the freaking moon. Komet or Ferguson? I'd probably go with Fergie if you want safety. Komet if you like a little dice roll, because he did explode last week. He was waiting on what's his name? Fields. He's been waiting on Fields his whole life, and now Fields finally shows up. And so, here it is. It's Fields time. Appreciate you for your super chat, pal. Thank you so much. Recovery. That's a tough one though. So vote if you could, please, guys. Ozzy with the super chat: is trading away T-Law and Swift for Hurts or AR5 okay? I think so. I'd probably take Hurts, I think, but I love both of them. But I would definitely do that if you have the depth for it. You feel kind of confident about it. Everyone's saying trade Wilson for Pacheco for the most part, Mark, if that helps. Gilbert with a $10 hauler, but nothing attached. Gilbert, make sure you attach the question in the super chat if you could next time. It just makes it a whole lot easier to find it. I'm going to try and search for it right now. Let's see if I can find it. I think you end up dropping another one down below. So I appreciate you. I think that's right here. So Gilbert, I'm going to pull you ahead since you did drop another one, which I really appreciate. $10 hauler to the moon. Gilbert's the man, the myth, the legend. I received Ridley, Metcalf, and Achane. I sent Kenneth Walker and Diggs. That's a tough one to evaluate, bro. Chat, what do we think on this one? I mean, Walker and Diggs is a lot to give up. Like, trading Walker is one thing, but to get rid of Diggs, that's crazy. How long until Kupp starts? We'd have no idea. I think he starts this week. We have no clue for sure, but like the way McVay talked, he practiced in full. I mean, Kupp sounds like he's going to be good to go. So will he be limited during the game? Maybe, but he's not limited during practice. Chat, what are we thinking here? Ridley, Metcalf, and Achane or Kenneth Walker, Diggs? Can we please get a vote on this one? This one's insane. It's so hard to not say Diggs and Walker. Because Metcalf and Ridley have their questions in a lot of people's minds. Big L on the trade, no way. Someone just dropped T-Law. Yeah, you probably got to pick him up. K9 side by far. It's really hard not to say K9 and Diggs. As much as we love Achane here, how do you not say the Diggs side? Most everyone's saying Walker Diggs side. There's a couple Achane sides, but it's Walker Diggs side. Gilbert, I would say no to that. Hopefully you haven't made the trade yet. I think you're giving up too much. I think there's definitely some opportunity to make that trade, but I think once you throw both those monsters in, you're really playing with fire by getting rid of your two monsters. I'm Jedi. Thank you for that $10 hauler and the other one. Do I trade Adams plus Ramondre for Achane, Nico, and Hawkinson? Yes. I would take Achane, Nico, and Hawkinson for Adams and Ramondre. I would. It's really close. And like 2 weeks from now, could we regret that? Maybe. Could Ramondre bounce back? I suppose. And let's ask the chat on this one. Chat, are we liking Ramondre and Adams or Achane, Nico, and Hawkinson? Waller and Kincaid. I think Hawkinson's a huge upgraded tight end for you, and Nico's balling out. So I would definitely shop Nico, but what's the chat think on that one? I'm very curious. $5 hauler. What's up, Smitty? Do you see a decent workload for Ezekiel Elliott this week? I think they're going to give him like 10 carries, especially if Ramondre misses. If Ramondre misses the game, which I don't necessarily think he will, but if he does, then yeah, Ekeler or Zeke's going to get like 15 carries. I like Flowers a lot this week. I appreciate your super chat. Let's see what the chat thinks here. People act like Smitty said. What are they saying? People act like Smitty said dump K9. I know people are very, very reactive. You got to be careful. K9's not a get rid of no matter what. It's that there's value to maximize. That's it. And there's other players that are so awesome to buy low that you can get Ekeler right now on the bye week if his owner's 0-4. Olave and Pierce for JT. I would rather have probably JT and Breece. Also Pollard and Andrews for Hill and Ayuk. I'd rather have Hill and Ayuk over Pollard and Andrews. Those are really good questions, and I think some people might be on both sides of that. Barkley or Hall. You got to go Barkley, but like I'm trading Barkley for Hall, but I'm getting more. So that's not a good trade 1-for-1, but you have the right idea in mind. 4-0, trade Monty for Higgins. No! What are we doing here, Piro? What are we doing here? Trade Monty for Higgins. Higgins is hurt. What are we doing here? My running backs are Walker, Achane, CMC, Charbonnet, and my wide receivers are Godwin, Olave. You can get the world for Monty right now. You could go get a Devontae Smith, Olave, a St. Brown, a Cooper Kupp, a Lamb, a Waddle and something, a Debo and something. You don't trade Monty right now, who's got tremendous trade value, for an injured Higgins that's been busting all year anyway. Absolutely no. I appreciate your super chat. I'm only passionate about it so you don't make a mistake. You're 4-0. Don't go crap the bed now. You're 4-0. You know? Act like it. Perio, appreciate you. To the moon.
To the moon.
I'm not even sending you on a lap. I'm just yelling so you understand my passion for that side of that trade, so you don't end up doing it or think, I'll just do it anyway. 3-1. Thank you for your super chat. 12-team PPR. Everyone, that's what I'm saying. Like, and no offense to Perio, but everyone's saying these trades can't happen. Get out of here. Get out of here with you. That doesn't happen in my league, Smitty. I'm too big. I got too big of a league. Look at all the things that happen all the time. There are constantly trades that are bad. 12 PPR, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a flex, Tua, Lamb, Devontae Smith, Dell, London, Henry, JT, K9, Hunt. Should I target Kupp or a wide receiver? I mean, maybe. You got a really good team. I think, if you could get Kupp using maybe James Conner and London, Dell and James Conner, then sure. But, do I want Cooper Kupp? In your situation with your wide receivers being already really good, do I trade Henry for Kupp? Yes. Those moves I Smitty approve, but that's it. I mean, you don't want to do anything crazier than that. You got a really good squad. You don't want to screw it up. This one, trade Kamara for Waddle. No. Waddle hasn't proven anything yet. I buy Waddle low. He's a great buy low, but this is buying Waddle at his draft value that he doesn't earn right now. Puka for DK. Puka over DK. You can't get rid of Puka right now as if everything's going to crash. You've got to either ride the wave out or sell him still very high. This is not high. DK's good, but that's not good enough for Puka. Who can I sell G. Willie for? Garrett Wilson's really good. Gibbs, if you want to get crazy and crafty. Give up another player and try and get Achane, because some people are wanting to get off that wave because they're afraid it will crash. 8-man league from Cam. Appreciate you for the $7 hauler. T-Law, AR5. You're great at quarterback. Jones, Aaron Jones, Achane, Monty. Very good at RB. Gibbs, Rashad White's tradable. Monty's tradable because you got 2 very good RBs, so we'll see. Tyreek, Amon-Ra, Olave, you need no wide receiver help. Addison, Laporta, you need no tight end help necessarily. Trades, I'm 2-0. The only trade I'm making if I'm you, God, I don't even think you need to make a trade. I think you maybe sit on this team I'm trying to maybe trade Monty and Rashad White and potentially I don't know. Am I trying to get JJ, which is going to be very hard, but am I trying to trade Monty and Amon-Ra for JJ? Am I trying to throw Rashad White into that to get it done? Would I rather have maybe Diggs over Amon-Ra or Olave by throwing in maybe I don't know if that's enough. Monty and St. Brown or Monty and Olave might be too much for Diggs, to be honest. Do I try and get into a Mahomes using AR5 and Monty, or AR5 and Addison and something? Those are the only moves to make. Your team's really good. I probably just stand pat. And in 8-man leagues, there's not a lot of trading that happens. 3-1. 0 PPR, 0 tight end, keeper league. I can improve. QB era 5, Kirk Kyler, CMC, Achane, ETN. Fantastic team. Cook is expendable here. CD, Devontae Smith, Keenan Allen. Very good wide receivers. Unless you're upgrading using James Cook to get CD into Hill or JJ or maybe Diggs, I don't think there's moves to make here. Keenan Allen and potentially James Cook for Diggs, I'd do that. Past that, there's no move that you need to really make. Maybe I would trade James Cook and AR5 for Mahomes, Josh Allen, just because I think that's a slight upgrade, but it's not a crazy upgrade. I mean, AR5 is capable of being as good as those guys. He really is. It's crazy. Imagine when he can throw the ball even better. Trade away Andrews, Dell, and Ford for Kelsey. I would definitely trade away all those players for Kelsey in a millisecond, my broski. That's not too much. That's not too much at all. That's a really, really good move. I love it. I love that move. Jay says 10 team, 2-2, Mahomes, Bijan, Tony Pollard, Olave, Puka, Kelsey, Hopkins. Very good team. Very solid team. Do you think Hopkins still is the best flex? I would say from your team, yes, he's probably still the best option, but maybe Jaleel fixes that and makes a dilemma for you. As far as everything else, like maybe JSN eventually gets a hold of that opportunity, but you got to maybe just wait on him. Mel Bailey with a super chat. Smitty, trade, receive, Debo, Higgins, give DK Laporta. I'd rather have DK and Laporta. I have Kelsey. I still trade Laporta, but I think that's where you're trying to get rid of Laporta and you're just taking the best offer. I think you wait on it potentially. Traded Ramondre, Higgins, Lamar, already owned Tua, Pacheco, for Ridley, Kamara, Puka, and Breece. That's a lot. Ramondre, Higgins, very questionable for both those guys. Lamar, you already got Tua. I get that. Pacheco. So Ridley, Kamara, Puka. I like the Breece, Puka. I like that entire side better. You did a good job getting all that, especially given that you didn't need the quarterback necessarily. $10 hauler from Cole, 4-0. Need wide receiver. Team is 12 team, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. Josh Allen, Stroud, Moss, ETN, Ramondre. I'm trading Ramondre. Your running backs are a little shaky other than Kamara and ETN. Yeah, you're pretty good then, Ramondre. But Ramondre and Zach Moss are shaky. I would definitely potentially trade those guys. Your wide receivers are, I think, the shaky part, right? So you got Hollywood, Jaden Reed. That's really, really, really tough. I'd probably say, wow, Kelsey, you got to hold Kelsey because no one's going to buy Kelsey at his price, his good going price. So like Ramondre and you keep Etienne and Kamara, Ramondre and Hollywood, Ramondre and Godwin, Ramondre and London, and I just go after the biggest wide receiver I can from Ridley to St. Brown. So, well, really, St. Brown, Kupp, Devontae Smith, Lamb, down to Ridley and Olave. And would I even take a Debo and like a Breece Hall or something like that, or a Waddle and Breece Hall, like something along those lines? Go to the Breece Hall owner, see what wide receiver they have, and trade Ramondre. Ramondre is the guy I trade, and I think that the running back climate is so weak. And thank you, Cole, for resubmitting your super chat, actually. So to the moon
To
for
the
you
moon.
for doing that. I appreciate that. I think because you probably have a lot of teams that have running back problems, Ramondre is going to be tempting for them. So either way, I think you'll get a trade done, but it's just like, how low do you have to go? Like Waddle, I'd take Waddle probably for Ramondre if you have to go that route. Debo if you have to go that route, but you could probably reach a little higher like Ridley. Hey Smitty, 12 team PPR, $20 hauler from
Alert.
G-Money.
Super chat alert.
G-Money coming in strong tonight. Hey Smitty, 12 team league, half PPR, 1 and 3 team. Fields, Love, Olave, Chase, Christian Watson, Reynolds, JSN, Bijan, Gibbs, Pacheco. Ekeler owner is not trading. Any trade suggestions? So obviously I'm looking at that quarterback upgrade if at all possible. I like Olave, Chase, and Watson's very strong. I think Bijan and Gibbs and Pacheco is very good because Pacheco's playing great right now. Gibbs is waiting in the wings. I don't think you necessarily need to do anything crazy. If it's me, I'm trading Jamar Chase for that Devontae Smith, that Ridley, that Olave to get that extra RB, that maybe Breece Hall type. Obviously, Achane and something for Chase I would take, but it depends on what the something was. So try and maneuver that if you can. And then chase for like Devontae Smith to get Fields upgraded into a Mahomes or Hurts type. Or even if you were to trade like Fields for Tua and you got to give up maybe, I don't know, maybe you can't give up Gibbs to do that, but I'm trying to go there, right? That's the thing that I'm trying to do here, but I don't know if you have enough depth for it. Maybe it's really Gibbs and Fields for Hurts, something like that. G-Money, those are the moves I would make with that team, but it's a very good squad, and I don't know that you have to force anything. KDS, appreciate your $10 hauler, my broski. To the moon goes
To the
you,
moon.
and you have a 10-team TD Premium, 1 flex. My roster is Josh Allen and AR5. It's a 1 QB, right? So you got to get rid of one of those quarterbacks and get that value. I know it's nice to have them, but damn, man. Bijan, ETN, AK, CD, Olave, Debo. You're freaking stacked. Got offered his Breece and DK Ingram for my Kamara, Debo, Muth. Okay, Breece, DK, Ingram for Kamara, Debo, Muth. I'd rather have Kamara and Debo over Breece and DK. I do love Breece a lot, but Kamara, no, I'm not doing that. On the fence, I tried to flip DK if accepted. No, I don't like that trade. I wouldn't do that trade. If I'm you, I'm trying to trade AR5 potentially to upgrade maybe, ETN into a, I don't know. I don't even know what you could go get. Like the running backs are sketchy right now. It's like that's why Achane is a top 5 potential running back right now, is because after you get past CMC and maybe Bijan, if that's how you view it, it's like you've got Ekeler and Eckler's there. Eckler's that guy. So like, is it ETN and maybe ETN and God, who could you? Does the Ekeler owner need a quarterback? If they do, that would be glory, because you could trade AR5 and ETN for Ekeler. But Eckler's the guy I want. Would I give up like a Debo and ETN for Ekeler? Maybe. You have the depth to kind of do it. But I really would love to see you potentially trade one of those quarterbacks. That's the only move to really make here. Past that, I mean, your team's so good. I don't know that I'm freaking out or trying to get out of. I'm just maybe trying to upgrade ETN slightly, or banking on the fact that you got AK and Bijan. I mean, you could upgrade CD or Debo into Tyreek Hill using ETN potentially. So those are things that would go through my mind looking at that team. How could I make it even stronger? But I also think that sometimes no trading is the best move for teams like that, especially if you're doing well. I'm 1-3, 12 team. This is a $10 hauler from Roger. Roger, thank you for your $10 hauler. Hurts, Achane, Bijan, phenomenal. Gibbs, love it. Ayuk, Christian Watson, like crafty wide receivers, but I could see where you're like feeling a little bit, uneasy at wide receiver. Trade Gibbs and Gabe Davis for Breece Hall. I could get behind either side. I do think Gibbs is going to have a day. It's going to happen, but it could be very late in the season. It could be in week 7. It could be in week 10. It could be never. I think Breece is, probably got the better shot. The offense is not maybe as potent, but maybe it starts getting a little bit better with Breece running the ball. I would say I'd rather take the shot on Breece Hall right now than Gibbs, but it's close, and it could change from week to week, to be honest. Traded Gibbs and DJ Moore for Olave. I'd probably rather have... That's tough, man. I mean, right now, Olave, but I really think that other side could come around and be worth more. It's just going to take some time, and maybe time is not what you have, So it depends on the team. $10 hauler from John. Appreciate John coming in with a 10 spot. Half PPR 10. My team is Love, T-Law, Monty, Kyron, Pacheco, Breece, Sanders, Gainwell. My wide outs are JJ, Debo, Watson. Great wide receivers. Gabe Davis. Tight end is Laporta. Would you trade Debo? Who would you trade for? I mean, I don't necessarily just want to get rid of Debo, but would I trade Debo and Pacheco for like a Achane and something? Absolutely. Would I trade Monty for Achane straight up? Would I trade Monty and Debo for Ekeler? Would I trade Breece? Try and keep Breece Hall. Pacheco and Debo, or Pacheco and Gabe Davis and Debo for Ekeler. I'd try and get Ekeler. I'd try and maybe get JT. I'd try and definitely maybe explore some of those avenues, but I think your team's good enough to hang. I love the idea of upgrading quarterback into Jalen Hurts, using maybe a potential player like Pacheco, getting into Jalen Hurts, getting into Mahomes. Those would be probably more advantageous moves for you. Laporta is even useful in that context. Maybe somebody would make the quarterback swap if you're throwing Laporta in and you find another tight end you like on waivers that will suffice. Trade my Saquon, Dotson, Charbonnet for Waddle, Pacheco. I'd rather have Waddle and Pacheco. And, it's arguable. I probably waver a little bit on it, but I think I do that trade. I just like that side better right now. Trade my Saquon for Mahomes. I have Burrow and Love. This is a tough one because it could leave you vulnerable to where you can't win because you don't have the running backs anymore. But in general, in a vacuum, I would say give me Mahomes all day. But you got to go to those QB needy teams and try and get some kind of Christian Watson value out of your quarterbacks that you no longer need. Then you crush the trade. That's really what makes you crush the trade, is your secondary move. Can you get rid of those quarterbacks or one of them for a Christian Watson, for a Breece Hall, for a Jahmyr Gibbs, for something? Should I trade Romeo Doubs for Breece Hall? Only if you like winning, Tron Force. Definitely go get Breece Hall if you like winning. Khalil Herbert in London for JT. Thank you, Tron Force. Appreciate you. I'd take JT in a millisecond. These questions are getting easier as I'm getting to the bottom here. Trade my Hurts, Andrews for CJ Fields and Kelsey. I would rather have Hurts and Andrews by quite a bit. Ryan with a $2 hauler. Breece and Puka side or St. Brown and Brian Robinson? Breece and Puka side. These seem to be easier as I'm going down. They really do. Sepsis, appreciate your $5 hauler. JT is coming back, and I have to drop one. Who do I drop? Bench is Godwin, Javonte, Roshan, Judy, Algier, Charbonnet, Ingram, Goff. Probably, what do you think, chat? Dropping either Javonte or, Judy? Or what did Judy even do last week? Am I missing what Judy did last week? What did Judy even do? I just don't trust Judy at all. What did Judy do? Judy. I know he didn't have like a baller day, but it wasn't like awful either. 3 receptions for 52 yards. I probably drop Judy. You could drop Roshan, but monitor the hell out of him, bro. I'd probably drop Judy. I don't trust him. He had every reason in the world to have a good week, and he just did okay. My sun god for Breece and Olave. I'd take Breece and Olave and I'd run because Olave's got the same kind of value. $5 hauler, 2 and 2, 10-team PPR. Allen, Walker, Ekeler, Swift, Kamara, phenomenal. If you only start 3 wide receiver or 3 running backs, you got to make a trade though. Watson, Wilson, Pickens, Kelsey. Any moves to make? Yeah, keep Kelsey, keep the RBs, but just trade one of them. I'd probably trade. I'd keep Ekeler, Kamara, and Walker probably, and I'd trade Swift for the St. Brown, the Olaves, the Cooper Kupps, the Ridleys, the Devontae Smith, the Lamb, Waddle, and something. But I probably would go no lower than that because you have the right to ask for that out of DeAndre Swift. And if you have to offer Walker instead, maybe you get a bigger name wide receiver. Start Joey B or Purdy this week. I'd probably say Purdy's safer, but you want a dice roll. I don't blame you for dice rolling. I really don't. And I could understand why somebody would want to put Burrow in there. I think we wait till later in the week on this one. Reese Thomas with a super chat that wasn't attached, but I did find a comment here. 10-man, 3-1, and lost Chubb. I have Fields, Love, Stroud, Gibbs, Eckler, Warren, McLaughlin, Keenan Allen, Zay Flowers, Cooper, Laporta. What do I do? This team is it feels like it got rocked with the Chubb injury. You probably got to divide and conquer Keenan Allen into like a Debo and Hall, into a Christian Watson and Hall type of thing. Like Keenan Allen's got to get you 2 players that we really like that you can put into the lineup potentially. Maybe it's a quarterback upgrade. Maybe it's Fields and Keenan Allen for Hurts and a Debo, or Hurts and a wide receiver that's going to be ranked below Keenan Allen. So I go for those moves. Amari Cooper, the same kind of thing. Can you divide him into a Debo and something? Is somebody going to be down on Debo in your league? Is somebody going to be down on Christian Watson enough that you got Watson? those are the moves to make. I mean, I probably don't trade Ekeler. You might have to trade Ekeler after this week, but you're 3-1, which is phenomenal. So maybe you just hold out and wait. But I do try and divide Keenan Allen if you can. If not, you just wait a week. You're 3-1. You can afford to kind of sit on it. But I think Keenan Allen's a really solid sell for you in your situation if you smartly buy a 2-player option that actually in your mind you like a little bit like as much or better. $20 hauler from XDS.
Alert. Super chat alert.
XDS coming in strong. Continued for my last super. Problem is the league is you have to match your roster limits. 3 running back, 5 wide receiver, 2 QB, 2 tight end. Trying to sell AR away possible. Stroud on waiver wire. Couldn't get T. Hill. Gonna try Ekeler, but probably no other targets. That's tough, XDS. I guess I would say from your team, AR5. Yeah, I mean, ETN for Achane, and throw in the quarterback and see what they could throw him back. That would be kind of interesting. You don't have Achane, right? That would be interesting. I mean, you can't do it 2 for 1. You can't just take Achane, I don't think, but that might be the move to maybe make is you start looking at the 2 for 2s in that context. But that would be really, really good. $5 hauler, 16-man, Joey B, Khalil Herbert, Brian Robinson, JJ Ridley, Thomas, Dell, Bench, London, Charbonnet, Roshan, Warren, Purdy, Shaheed. Moves to improve running back. 16 teams are hard. You almost have to roll a Burrow here. There's not much you can do. Brian Robinson's playing well, but oh, man. I guess I would say, like, if you're winning, I would probably hold before I do anything, but JJ's tempting to trade in a divide and conquer situation for you. If you think you could win with Joey B, JJ, and Ridley, and that's pretty much the bulk of your situation, then by all means try. But if you don't think honestly you can, you got to try and get that Achane and biggest wide receiver you can for JJ. You got to try and get Breece Hall and the biggest, highest wide receiver you can find for JJ. But do not just do the highest bid offer. It's got to be the right deal or you hold. But those are probably the 2 targets, the running back targets, and look at the wide receivers. 12-team PPR, Fields, Stroud, Amon-Ra, Flowers, Bijan, Ekeler, Kelsey, Hollywood, Breece, Pickens, 1 and 3, made a lot of moves. What do you think? I mean, I'm tempted to sell Fields high and roll with Stroud. And then, you can have Bijan, Ekeler, Amon-Ra. But this is a good team. Breece coming back. The only thing it needs is, like, if you were to get a St. Brown or a Olave or Kupp or Ridley. Ridley's so cheap right now. I feel like you could trade Fields for Ridley and maybe only have to give up like an extra piece like Pickens, and you could get it. And then this team's kind of set. But I quietly like Flowers. I don't think I'm overreacting on anything though. I think if I could upgrade Fields or Stroud by using a potential, I don't know. I mean, would I use Pickens? Obviously, I'd upgrade Fields. Fields to Tua would be safer. But I do like Stroud. I probably would try and just trade Fields and Pickens, Fields and Hollywood, Fields and Charbonnet. Maybe the Walker owner is tempted to get Charbonnet from you because Charbonnet's been getting more work. I'd go look at the Walker owner, see what you can trade them, see if their quarterback's lesser than Fields. And if not, then you probably just look at what you can get for Charbonnet and Pickens from them, and then you hold. But I think quarterback upgrade would be nice, to be honest, just because, I don't know, with that team, it feels like it'd be strong. Should I trade Bijan and Henry for CMC? Probably. I think everybody in here would rather have CMC than Henry and Bijan, which is crazy to say, like, given the cost of both of them on draft day, but draft day doesn't matter anymore. Offer Kyron for Breece. No way. Keep Kyron. I love or T-Law this week. Probably love. But, bro, you can't trade Kyron. Bo, this is what I'm talking about, and this is what everybody says you can't make trades with. People aren't giving away Kyron. No offense, Bo. You're my boy. Super chat, appreciate you. But right here, I love Breece. I think Breece could end up being more than Kyron, but the fair market value of this is crazy. Like, Kyron is a top 5 running back. You can get the world for Kyron right now. You don't dare settle for that. Even though I love Breece Hall, you're getting like a Devontae Smith and Breece Hall for Kyron right now, bro. And you're leaving out the Devontae Smith part. I think you missed my super chat. Luke says, Luke, let's see. I could have. Garrett Wilson and Calvin Ridley in a trade. Garrett Wilson or Calvin Ridley. I think I answered this, Luke. It's Calvin Ridley by a mile for me. I like Garrett Wilson a lot still, but it's Calvin Ridley by a freaking long mile. Like, no doubt about it. Luke, thank you for the second super chat. Appreciate you. Sorry if I did miss that. I remember answering that, but it's a long show. I don't blame you for not being here the whole entire time. You might have took a little potty break, pal. Appreciate you. Laporta, Dell, Flowers for DK Metcalf and Amari Cooper. Give me DK Metcalf and Amari Cooper. It's not even close. Not even close. You can flip that too for an amazing value. Trade Burrow for Watson. If you don't need Burrow, I think that's a slam dunk move. And it gets you out of the Burrow situation, especially if you got AR5 and you're rolling with that. 3-1, $5 hauler from Matt. Full PPR, 12-team Lamar, Ramondre, Monty, Tyreek, Amon-Ra, Laporta, Puka, bench Flowers, Garrett Wilson. Very good team. You got Mostert. You should have traded Mostert last week, though, when he had the value, bro. You could have got so much for him. He was such a good sell high last week. Mostert and Garrett Wilson together might still get you something very solid. Ramondre and Mostert, Ramondre and Garrett Wilson. Try and go get something, bro. Go get Achane. I know it's probably killing you to see Achane doing what he's doing too. And then at least you'd have Mostert as well. Ramondre and Garrett Wilson for Achane. Try it. See if it works. Monty for Achane. I'd do that too. Your team's really good. The only piece I'm trying to move is Ramondre. Ramondre and Garrett Wilson for one better player. Pollard. For Ekeler, for JT, for Kamara, all those guys. I'm just trying to get rid of Ramondre. That's the best move. You want Kelsey? I could do that too. Ramondre and Mostert for Kelsey. Ramondre and Garrett Wilson for Kelsey even. And you try and get something else back along with it if you could. Starting Garrett Wilson and Breece in all leagues. Let's freaking go. I'm not saying I'm not hopeful too, but I definitely am hoping that Garrett Wilson also benefits greatly from Breece getting more run. And hopefully we're not super disappointed from this. But I'm very optimistic, more so than I was on Breece Hall. Thank you for the super chat, $10 hauler moonshot for you. I'm 3-1 and thin at wide receiver. Anything I should do? Wide receivers are Amon-Ra, Ayuk, and Jameson. My running backs are Ekeler, ETN, JT, Breece, Warren, Spears, Herbert, McLaughlin. My tight end is Hawkinson. Amon-Ra, Ayuk is really solid. Ekeler and ETN and JT and Breece is really good. And so I kind of like what you're working with here. I think that, I don't know who's your quarterback. I don't see your quarterback here, so I assume your quarterback's set. If not, I'm using maybe one of the RBs to go get a quarterback upgrade, or I'm potentially using maybe ETN and try and go get Olave, Ridley, Cooper Kupp, Lamb, Devontae Smith, all those guys using ETN. And I think all those 1-for-1 would be good for this specific team. I like that a lot. I think that would be a really, really solid move for you. Now, Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Let's see if I can plug in real quick and we can do a quick little draft on Underdog. So Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Underdog will match up to $100 on your first deposit. They may still be doing the 500. I can't guarantee that right now. But if you go to Underdog Fantasy and click, or if you click the link that I pinned in the live chat, that will get you where you need to go. Okay, so we're going to go into this draft right now. Let me see if I can expand this out a little bit, and that way you guys can see more. Okay, so you're going to go to the draft tab at the bottom, okay? Then you're going to, on this card, swipe over to the Battle Royale Week 5 $5 entry. It's the third card, or it should be the third card. The link is in the description of the video if you're watching the replay, or every video of the links in the description. The code is Smitty. The code gets you up to $100 bonus match. They double your first deposit up to $100. It may be $500 until tonight, or it ended on midnight, but But that's why I'm saying 100. I don't know if it's still there. But $100 they'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. The link is pinned in the live chat. We're clicking the Week 5 Battle Royale. We're clicking the enter button right now. 300K to first place. This is for the morning slate of games in the afternoon, I think, only. So there's no like night game or Monday night game in here. And so we're going to jump into, we'll maybe do 2 of these real quick before we get out of here. So your boy got, let's see, no, it hasn't decided yet though, draft order. I got the 5th overall pick in a 6-round, 6-player, like six bench or 6 starting lineup league, no benches. Okay, so Baz, appreciate the super chat, dropping that, no message attached, but appreciate you doing that. If you got a question, I'll kind of look for it, but here we go. We got 37 seconds before this draft begins. We'll do one more. So if anybody wants to draft with me on the next one, these go really quick because there are only 6 rounds and there's only 6 players getting, there's only 6 owners and it's 6 rounds. So 36 players getting taken and then it's over. So if anybody wants to draft with me on the next one right after this, we'll do one more. Hit that link that's in the live chat, hit the link that's in the description, or use promo code Smitty and let's do it live. Okay, let's see here. Appreciate you all being here. We got almost 2,500 messages on this show so far, which has gone, we're 560 eyeballs in here right now. Hit that thumb up button. We only have 242 thumbs up and 555 people watching. Please punch that thumb up button. But also we have 2,500 messages sent in the live chat on this 2-hour and 50-minute show. You guys are absolute straight monsters. Your boy's drafting from the 1.5 spot. Here we go. Appreciate you all. Let's see what happens. JJ, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and I'm on deck here. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate you. Keep Achane, says Fantasy Dad. I don't know what the question was, but I agree with him. All right, AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Patrick Mahomes. I'm probably going to go with, man, AJ Brown's nice here. I'm going to go AJ Brown here. AJ Brown. We'll see what Reed does here with the back-to-back picks. Let's go to the board view so you guys can watch it that way. Let's answer a couple phone calls while we do this. Farb, appreciate you. What's up, my guy? Farb?
Yeah, what up?
What's
What
up?
up, man? All right, I just pulled off the trade. Let me know what you think. I got Ekeler, and I got Ridley, and I got rid of Bijan, and I got rid of Stroud.
Yeah. I mean, it depends what your quarterback is, but Ekeler and Ridley.
I got T-Law. I got T-Law, so I'm banking on him coming back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with that. That's. I mean, Ekeler and Ridley's a lot for Bijan and Stroud, so you did really, really good on that. Nice job. Nice job,
Sweet,
bro.
man. Appreciate it.
Good work. All right, man. Farb, appreciate you. Keep crushing it, bro.
You're the man. Thank you.
You're the man. All right, later.
Chill.
Young, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
Smitty, what's up?
What's up?
With my Saquon for Mahomes trade that I talked to you about earlier, how about if I trade Burrow for Christian Watson? What do you think about that?
Burrow for, I love it. I think I answered that too, or if that wasn't yours, somebody else asked that. But I love getting Christian Watson for Burrow. I think that was your question, and especially if you don't. Who's your quarterback again?
I have Love and Burrow right now.
Yeah.
And then I could turn around and then, possibly I have Achane, McLaughlin, Roshan, Saquon, and Javonte.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm pretty receiver heavy. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. It's good. I mean, Christian Watson for a quarterback when you may not even use the quarterback, it's fine. It's a good move. I like it.
And then I could, and even if the Saquon for Mahomes doesn't go through, I could just turn around and grab Stafford off waivers and just roll with Love and Stafford and get Watson. You
could. Hopefully Love has a really good game. He's on pace again for 40 plus total touchdowns. So as much as
I
people,
have all the confidence in the world in Jordan Love, man. I think he's going to have a great year. I still do.
Yeah, he looks good. I mean, he's still getting his RB back, his number one wide receiver. Those guys were not 100%. All right, Young, appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, brother. Talk to you later. Thanks.
Later. Donnie Bravo, 2-2, half PPR, 10-man league. I have Fields, Love, Stroud, Bijan, Walker, Sharps, Gibbs, Ridley, CD, Puka, Javonte. Any moves to make? I mean, you've got such good wide receivers in Ridley, CD, Puka. Bijan Walker, I mean, you're pretty solid and balanced. I mean, I'd love to see you get a better quarterback, but can Fields and like J-Mo or Fields and Javante or Fields and Jaleel or Fields and Dotson get you a Tua, might be a tad bit safer. Past that, I don't know that I'm really like trying to maneuver that team too much. It's pretty well balanced. Right here, I'm on the clock. I'll take Jalen Hurts. So far, my team is AJ Brown, Devon Achane, Jalen Hurts, and then I'm on deck here. Spiffy, you're live. Hang tight real quick. Spiffy, let me answer these questions real quick. Again, this team looks really, really solid, bro. I'm just trying to get that feels maybe upgraded a tiny bit into Tua or especially Jalen Hurts. Would I give you got really CD Puka? Would I give a Gibbs to make Fields turn into Jalen Hurts? Absolutely. I don't know if that's a doable thing. Biden gonna be Kupp is gonna be Puka's backup when he comes back. That's funny. Appreciate you very much, Biden. Stroke dropping the $5 hauler. Stroke says traded J-Mo, Dobbs, and Ramondre for Evans in London. I could get behind either side. Look, Evans is hurt. Ramondre's playing bad and hurt. So it's kind of like even, I guess I would rather have Evans if he's healthy, but he's not healthy. So it's kind of trades to make with your team. Let me look at that 1 second. Okay, Devontae Smith just got sniped for me. I so far I have Jalen Hurts, Devon Achane, and AJ Brown. Let's see here. Garrett Wilson, no. Cooper Kupp. I don't know if Cooper Kupp's gonna kind of a risky. Let's go with Kamara. So I've got Kamara, Devon Achane, Hurts, and AJ Brown, which is pretty solid. And let's see. As far as trades, I would say like I'm trading Ramondre. Traded J-Mo Ramondre for Evans. Oh, you already got Evans. Okay, Evans, London. Current team is Pollard, Swift. Okay, JT. You got a really good squad. You got a lot of RBs. Your wide receivers are off the hook. Hill and Olave and Addison are pretty good. I guess I'm trying to maybe trade Swift for one of Ridley, St. Brown, Olave, Kupp, Devontae Smith, Lamb, Waddle, etc., and you already have Olave, right? So that's what I'm doing with that team because you can afford to maybe balance it out a little bit like that. That's a good squad, Professor Stroke. And then Zachary with the $20 hauler. Zachary to the moon.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Zach coming in with the 20 wad says bad ass show, Smitty. Never stop, brother. 2 QB. Need a wide receiver. Any trade ideas? Pat Mahomes, Lamar. It's 2 QB. You're crushing it with the 2 QB. Bijan, JT, Hall. Unbelievable. Gibbs. Pacheco, wide receiver. Olave, wide receiver. Flowers, Addison, 2-2. Yeah, I guess, you need wide receivers, but at the same time, given it's a 2 QB and how stacked you are everywhere else, you don't necessarily need to do anything. You could keep riding the light wide receiver crew because you're gonna to plug one hole in the ship, you're gonna have to create 2 more holes. So unless you can trade Gibbs or Pacheco for St. Brown or Devonta Smith, which I think you could. I think Pacheco has that kind of value right now. I'd probably keep Gibbs because you'd have to sell Gibbs really low. I'm going to take Cooper Kupp or Olave. I'm going to go Olave here. I feel like this is a really good team right here. Jalen Hurts, Devon Achane, Alvin Kamara, AJ Brown, Chris Olave. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I almost went Kupp, but I'd rather have Olave. So I think Pacheco could easily get you. Write these names down: Ridley, St. Brown, Olave, Kupp, Devontae Smith, Lamb, Waddle, Debo, and you already have Olave. So yeah, one of those wide receivers you should be able to get with Pacheco. And if you got to give up like a Gibbs as well to go a little higher, I wouldn't mind that. That wouldn't be something that I hate. Let me go Goddard. I think Goddard bounces back here. I'll cue Goddard up. And if Goddard gets taken, I'll take, I guess, Higbee. But yeah, so that's what I would do with that move. Hold on, Spiffy. I got one more super chat. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate you with your super chat, my broski. Actually, what's that? What did I just talk to? Did I just take Zach's? I think that was Zach's. Never stop. Yeah, that was Zach. Zach, thank you for your super chat and your kind words. To the moon, Zach. Zach to the freaking moon.
To the moon.
Thank you, Zach. Goddard just went, so I got to go. Son of a B. I guess I'll go Higbee. He's banged up, but we'll see what they rank us. We'll do one more draft. If anybody wants to get in on this draft, the link is pinned in the live chat. Joseph Smith, welcome to the YouTube exclusive membership, pal. To the moon, pal. Appreciate you for joining. If anybody else wants to join, just click the join button. It should be right above. It's on the main part of the channel, or you might be able to see it where you can click join now. And there's a $2.99 where you get emojis, a green name, you're supporting the channel, everybody knows you're part of the club. Then there's the $12.99, which gets you priority comment replies on YouTube comments. So if you are somebody that wants a lot of responses, then you want to click that bad boy. Here are the teams right here. Big Shot, Wildcat. Yeah, let's get into another one real quick. Battle Royale. Week number 5. Link is in the description of the video. It's also pinned in the live chat. Click that right now. Hit the green button right now. 300K in prizes. This is for week 5 only. And this super chat right here. AR5 Love, Bijan Swift, Javonte Herbert, Tyreek Ridley, Garrett Wilson, Ferguson. Drop anyone to pick up McLaughlin or Jameson Williams. Probably not. I don't see anybody worth dropping to pick up Jameson or McLaughlin, I don't think. I mean, you could drop Javonte, I suppose, for McLaughlin if you wanted to, but I don't know. It's tough to know. You know, Kincaid, I guess you could drop for one of those guys, but I think your receivers are really strong. I know they're small benches, but you know you're going to have an opportunity to pick up these guys later. So I don't think they're. I mean, maybe Jameson over Kincaid for now. If you think the tight end position will be plentiful, and as far as trades. I mean, Bijan and Swift are solid AR5. Tyreek Ridley. Garrett Wilson, maybe. Garrett Wilson and Swift for maybe a like Achane or JT, or maybe you trade for Paul. You could maybe even get Pollard for that. I got the 1.4, by the way. Looks like Slump, Reed, 2-3 Bake, and what is that? Jed are in this. Okay. So trade Garrett Wilson and see if there's a QB needy team that needs Love. Maybe Garrett Wilson and Love could get you a Devontae Smith. Maybe it could get you a Olave. Maybe it can get you a Kupp. Maybe it could get you I mean, you could even try and trade Garrett Wilson for Waddle. But I would try and maybe get rid of the quarterback like Love. Keep AR5 though, and maybe use Garrett Wilson and Swift to try and just go a little bit above at a running back spot. I don't think you'll get Ekeler. You could always try, but that might be hard. You might be hard pressed to get Ekeler. Appreciate you, Joseph, for dropping that super chat. That was Joseph, right? Yeah, Joseph also joined the YouTube exclusive membership the moment he did that. So Joseph to the freaking moon. I'm on the clock. Hold on, Spiffy. I'm almost there. That's the risk you get when you call on the phone line when the phone lines aren't open, Spiffy. So hang tight. Bijan. Let's go with Bijan. Bijan's gonna have a big week. Big week for Bijan. Luis Mendez said his chat wasn't answered. Says Yee. Thank you, Luis. Appreciate you. Luis Mendez. Thank you. And then the chat was Mendez. Let me see if I can find it. Mendez. Luis Mendez.
Motion detected.
Got offered my Camara for Achane. I did answer this one. He must have went on a little potty break. But Luis, I appreciate your super chat. I said give me Achane. Give me Achane. I love Camara, but give me Achane. So it was answered, Luis. Fake news. But I do appreciate you. Thank you, Yee, for shouting that out as well. But yeah, that's a good one. It's a good question. Okay, Mahomes. Do I take Mahomes here? I've got Bijan. I'm going to diversify. I got Devon Achane and another one, so I'm going to go Mahomey. I'm going to go Mahomey and Bijan. Appreciate you, Yee, for dropping that. First of all, you dropped a $20 hauler to say that. Yee to the freaking moon. Yee's dropping a $20 hauler to look out for one of his compadres here on the channel. I just noticed that was a $20 hauler, Yee.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Yee's a monster. Yee to the freaking moon. Thank you, Yee. $5 hauler, 1 QB. Spiffy, you got 30 seconds. I got too many things to do right now. I'm sorry, bro. You got 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah, so I wanted to know for who of these players should I drop Charbonnet for? So surprisingly, somebody had dropped Lockett in my league. I don't know if I should get him. I also have Tyjae Spears, Chuba Hubbard. Who else? I got Jameson Williams on the waivers and McLaughlin.
Hubbard. Drop Hubbard. Drop Chuba Hubbard for Charbonnet. Easy.
No. It's the other way. I have Charbonnet. I'm seeing who I should pick up for him. I have Tyler Lockett on the waivers.
No, I mean Lockett's interesting, but I'm not dropping Charbonnet. He's a league winner, bro. He's got league winning potential.
My bad. I didn't mean Charbonnet. I meant
you don't know what you're saying then. What are we doing here?
I got confused with the Seahawks. My bad. I'm scrambled right now. It's to drop JSN.
What are we doing? What are we doing here, Spiffy? Okay, drop JSN for Jameson. Sure. But JSN's got win a league potential too. You just got to wait on it.
Well, what about Lockett?
I mean, Lockett's a little safer than... Yeah, take Lockett for now. Pick up Lockett. I like that. Pick up Lockett for now. I agree. Smitty approved that.
Okay,
Spiffy.
I'll probably... I don't know if I can call him later, but...
Yeah, I'm probably ending the show. It's 3 hours already. All right, Spiffy, appreciate you. No problem. Hey, Spiffy, go get Lockett. That's a good move. All right, later, pal. Spiffy cracks me up, man. That guy's so funny. Full PPR 12-man league, 1 QB, Love, Stroud, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Watson, Dell, Pickens, Dotson, Swift, Gibbs, Mostert, Stevenson. 1 and 3, getting desperate any trades. This is a tough one. I'm not trying to be, I'm just being real. This is a tough one to navigate. I mean, your running backs are just Swift, Gibbs, Mostert right now. Mostert was such a good sell high last week. I know you wanted to ride the wave, but he's an injury-prone guy. He's such a good sell high. Now I don't know what you're going to get for him, so it's kind of tough. Right here, I've got Bijan, Amon-Ra. Let's go with Kamara here. And come back. I would say, you're probably best off trying to sell... You can't even sell some of these guys. You're going to have to wait a week. I'm sorry to say, David, but you got to wait. You can't sell Amon-Ra hurt. You can't sell Watson, who hasn't bounced back yet. He will. Swift kind of had a mediocre day to a lot of people's standards, so no one's buying him. No one wants Stevenson. I tried and trade Stevenson for a Devontae Smith, a struggling Olave, a struggling Ridley. I'd probably go get Ridley using Stevenson. Past that, you really got to wait on this. There's not a lot you can do with that team at this current moment. You need a lot of those guys to bounce back before you're able to do anything. Finish with a $20 hauler. $20 hauler for Finish coming in strong.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Finish, appreciate you. 10-man PPR. My QBs are Hurts, Tua. Running backs are Jacob, Sanders, Moss, Evans, JJ, Puka, Watson, Dell. I'm 3-1. Should I go out of my way and trade for better running backs? Yeah, I would. I'd sell Jacobs on the high. I'd sell Sanders as high as I can. Those running backs are not the running backs I want. JT using Jacobs and Sanders. Honestly, for Ekeler, I'd give up both of them for Ekeler. Jacobs for Achane, Sanders, and you might have to sell. I mean, at some point, your receivers are really good. If you can pull that off, if you can get Ekeler or JT for Jacobs and Sanders and go rogue at running back 2 and just figure it out, you might be able to win the league. You're 3-1. It's good. You got a good squad. I sell Sanders and Jacobs on the high. I'm going after Ekeler, going after JT, going after JT's risky though. You got to know that. Going after Pollard on the low, using both those guys. You might have to sell Puka and Sanders for something like that. You might have to sell Jacobs and Puka for something like that, and then sell Sanders later. And maybe you could sell Sanders for Ridley. Somehow find a way to get Ridley in the mix. If you end up getting rid of maybe Puka and one of the running backs, you use the other running back and something smaller to go get Ridley. 2 moves could fix it. 1 move could fix it. Depends on what you do with the 1 move. But you got a lot of potential here. I mean, Evans just got to get healthy. You may eventually have to divide and conquer JJ, like JJ into a like even if you went to Diggs, JJ for Diggs and Achane, JJ for Chase, and I don't know if I would want to go Chase route, but you could. So it's definitely something you could look and explore. Olave, I'm gonna go Olave again, man. Yeah. I mean, maybe we try Kupp. I'm gonna try Kupp in this one just in case. I don't know if a lot of people love Kupp or not. That's what JJ's your next move, but try those first, and then if not, come back and let's work a JJ trade. If you feel like you can't win with what you got, like you're 3-1 though, you know what I mean? So maybe you just hold. I work on those other ones. I think you could win with JJ. I think at 3-1, given what you have Hurts at quarterback, you can win with JJ. You just need to make that one move, bro. That one running back move. D. Monty, Gibbs owner, and Waddle for ETN. I'd rather have D. Monty and Waddle over ETN, my guy. That's not even close. Thank you for the super chat. Fallon, Kincaid or Logan Thomas. Pick 2. I'm going Kincaid. Pick 2, Boyd, P. Ryan, Gabe Davis. Probably Boyd and Gabe Davis if it's PPR, and maybe even if it's half PPR. Travis with a super chat. 1-3 record, bye week, crunch. Trade DK, Javonte, Jaleel, McLaughlin, Mike Wilson for Kelsey, McCloy. Yeah, I'd take Kelsey straight up for that. Are you worried about Kelsey at all? Not really. I mean, I do feel like this whole Taylor Swift thing is weird. I feel like it's distracting. But I also think that, like, Mahomes struggled. So can we really blame Kelsey? He looked good every time he caught the ball. So I don't think I am. Baz dropped a super chat earlier and drops another one right here. Baz, appreciate you. Baz, 10-team. This gets a moonshot, by the way. You get a moonshot when you drop a $10 hauler. 10-team full PPR. T. Law, Richardson. Richardson's your starter. Bijan, Swift, Achane. Great 3 running backs. Breece and JT. You can trade one of those if you even need to. Kupp and St. Brown. Amari Cooper. Wow. That's a really... am I on the clock here? Did I time out? I timed out on Goddard. That's okay. I wanted Goddard. That's good. Okay. Let's do one more. Battle Royale Week 5. Click it. Click the green button now. The link is in the live chat pinned. It's also in the description of every video. You use code Smitty or the link, and they'll give you up to $100 bonus match, dollar for dollar on your first deposit. Anthony Richardson, this is a good team. JT, Cooper Kupp, St. Brown. You don't need to trade one of your RBs, but you really could. You could, and I'd keep Achane, JT, Bijan, and Breece, and I'd probably trade Swift for every wide receiver I've named all night long. Ridley, St. Brown, Olave, Kupp, Devontae Smith, Lamb. I would trade Swift for every single one of those guys in your situation, just because I think they're all very good wide receivers, and that turns your team into a. Let me just see real quickly what your other question was. It turns your team into a very solid squad. Am I offering? Okay, here's the question. Amari Cooper and Kelsey. Let's see here. What is this? St. Brown, Amari Cooper. You got Kelsey too. Am I offering Tyreek for Swift and St. Brown or Olave? Yes, I would take Tyreek over that. That would be a good trade. Or Devontae. Wait, what is this? Devontae Smith. You don't have Devontae Smith. What are we doing here? Am I offering Tyreek for Swift and St. Brown? Yeah, Swift and St. Brown. Or Olave or D. Smith. Okay. Swift and St. Brown. Swift and St. Brown. I don't see that you have Olave. I'm a little confused at this bottom part. I feel like you worded it funny, but I would say, like, go get Hill for sure if you can do that. Or my other suggestions still apply. But if you got Kelsey, that's phenomenal, bro. If you got that on top of that. Travis with another super chat. Trade Amon-Ra and trade Amon-Ra, DK, and Javonte for Diggs and Waddle. I'd take Diggs and Waddle and I'd run. That's a fantastic side of that trade. Diggs and Waddle for sure. Travis, that would be unbelievable if you pulled that off. Justin Jefferson, Jalen Hurts. Tyreek Hill is available. Travis Kelsey available. Let's go with Tyreek Hill here. I like that. I think he's going to have a big day. Parker. Appreciate Parker with the super chat. Parker. Bijan, Diggs, or Tyreek Kamara. Bijan, Diggs, Tyreek Kamara. I'd probably go Tyreek Kamara. No. Yeah, I guess I go. It's really close. Tyreek Kamara probably, but really, really close. I think Bijan could change our minds really quickly. Trade Pacheco for Breece or Achane. Yeah, I would take. First of all, Pacheco and Breece are kind of close, but Achane's like like 10 levels above both of them. So it's kind of like asking, should I trade a $10 bill for another $10 bill, or should I take a $100 bill? So Achane for sure. What about my Bijan and D Smith for Tyreek and Stevenson? Bijan and Devontae Smith. I'd probably rather have Bijan and Devontae Smith over Tyreek and Stevenson. Mainly because Stevenson, I feel like, is almost on the verge of being a nothing. So, like, there's a lot of risk there, even though it feels like it shouldn't be. Now, if Stevenson bounces back, that Tyreek side crushes. But I don't know if he will. QB Stroud, Watson, Walker, thank you for the $5 DVO. And thank you, James and Parker and Travis and Baz. Appreciate you all. Stroud, Watson, Walker, Achane, Stevenson, Madison, Herbert, JJ, Amon-Ra, Ridley. Great wide receivers, man. Achane, Stevenson, Walker. I'm trading Stevenson to upgrade Stroud or Watson. That's what I'm doing. That's the move to make. Tyreek Hill is my player so far that I have. Puka Nacua, Derrick Henry. Let's see. What do I do here? Amon-Ra. I guess I'm going to roll with... I'll go Amon-Ra, I guess. So now, so far, I've got Tyreek Hill and Amon-Ra. Walker Achane is phenomenal. I love these wide receivers, man. You got JJ, Amon-Ra, Ridley, Cooper. I assume you can start all 4 wide receivers. If you can't, then I'm using Amari Cooper and Stevenson to get one bigger running back. But I'm trying to use Stevenson or Amari Cooper, either one, to get Stroud or Watson into Hurts. I'd even maybe trade Stevenson and Stroud or Stevenson and Watson to get like Tua. I like Stroud a lot. I know a lot of people do. Would I give up for Swift or Hall? Who would I give up for Swift or Hall? On your team, I would take Swift for Amari Cooper potentially, but I'd rather trade Stevenson for Swift or Stevenson for Hall. You know, that would be the smarter move. Madison and Cooper for Swift and something. Those are tempting offers. Anthony, appreciate your $10 hauler. Anthony to the moon for dropping a $10 wad on screen. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate you very much. 3-1, 12 team, full PPR, 1 flex. I'm on the clock here. Monty, Swift. Let's go with. I guess we'll go with Monty on this one. Kind of unorthodox team for me. 3-1, 12 team. Hurts, Bijan, Etienne, Amon-Ra, Higgins, Pitts, Mostert, bench, London, Mims, Charbonnet. Any moves? Who should I start for wide receiver 2? Your wide receiver 2 with Higgins hurt is going to be London for right now. Obviously, in my opinion, it's obvious. But Mostert, definitely feel like you got to play him at the current moment. So you got the right people in. Do I trade Higgins? Higgins is injured, right? So do I trade Higgins and Mostert for like one better player like Breece Hall? I probably would. Would I trade that for a Devontae Smith or a Ridley who's so doubted right now, for a Waddle or a Debo? I'd probably trade Mostert and Higgins for that. That would be the move to make, Anthony, I think, with that team. You just get that extra piece in there using Higgins, because Higgins has been worthless and he's injured. So I'd definitely get rid of him. Would you start Aaron Jones this week or Brian Robinson? I'm going Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones, I know he crapped the bed last week, but that was his first game back. He's going to be fine. And this one right here, $10 hauler from my boy SKS. Appreciate SKS coming in strong like he always does. $10 hauler, 12 team from the text. Hurts, K9, Sharbs, James Cook, Moss, Chase, Ridley, London, Kittle, 1 and 3. Trade Hurts and Trash for Love, T-Law, Pacheco, and Puka or Waddle. That's confusing. I'm going to have to read that again. Let's see here. Right now I've got Monty, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra. I'm going to go Anthony Richardson here. Actually, maybe I'll go Tua. Because I got Tyreek. I got Tua, Tyreek, Amon-Ra, David Montgomery. This one's confusing, bro. Trade Hurts and Trash for Love, T-Law, Pacheco, Puka, or Waddle. So Puka or Waddle. Puka or Waddle. So we'll say Puka. Puka, Pacheco, T-Law for Hurts, and trash. K9 out this week, need a win. I mean, I think you could... You could make an argument that this has got pros and cons, SKS. I wish I could tell you that this is... Does anybody think SKS should make this move? I think losing Hurts is a big loss for you. You've got a really good team. I know you want to win and you're 1-3, but you got Chase and Ridley and you got K9 and Hurts, and you know, I think like would I rather you go get like Waddle or Puka using James Cook? I think it's attainable, you know, versus having to give up Hurts. It's not that I think it's a bad trade. I just don't like it. I don't think it's the best move. You may be getting Pacheco, you may be getting Puka, but I value Bendu dropped a super chat without anything attached. So let me find, I think I found the comment for that. That might try and include that if you could, guys. Appreciate you. Let's see here. Pacheco, Swift. Let's go Kamara here. So my team so far is Tyreek, Amon-Ra, David Montgomery, Tua, Alvin Kamara. Bendu, what do I do with Darren Waller? Drop or hold? Probably try and trade him. But it's really, really tough, you know? Like, there's not a lot of options. Nobody... The thing is, the more complicated you make a trade, like a 2-for-2 or a 3-for-3, the more you can potentially get, you know? You can trick someone into thinking Waller might have more value when you do a 2-for-2. Like, hey, I'll give you my, you know, Garrett Wilson and Waller, and you give me your Devontae Smith, who's struggling. And maybe, you know, Garrett Wilson's almost as good. So, okay, I'll do it if I get Waller. Like, that's the creative thing you got to do. That kind of stuff is how you roll. All right, here's the final. This is the final round, and then we're out of here. Appreciate everybody joining me on this 3-hour, but the continuum of the gigawatt component structure. That's sad. That's sad seeing that right now. I hit the wrong button. That was Jahmyr Gibbs. I can't wait till we can press that button again. I'm not going to hit that button again until Jahmyr Gibbs has a breakout game. Pickens and Ridley for Barkley. I don't like Barkley. I don't like trading for Barkley. So I'm probably just saying, like, I don't mind where you're going with this, but I don't know that that's the player I land on. Like, I'd rather have Achane. I'd rather have Walker. I'd rather have Ekeler. I'd rather have JT. I'd rather have a handful of players. And it's just a handful of players, bro. Did I time out on this? Or I'm on the clock now. Goddard. I think I'm going to go Goddard again. Okay. Super chat here from... Thank you again. I'd try and do something else, bro. I really would try and do something else. Love or Fields this week? Probably going to go... Probably going to go Love with the Thursday night game. You know what I'm saying? It just feels safer. Thank you guys for joining me on those drafts. I'm not saying I don't like Fields this week. I don't know. Maybe we hit that tomorrow, that question. Can we hit that question tomorrow when we get ready for this game tomorrow? I think maybe that's something we look at. It's definitely something that I could change my mind on too. To the moon, appreciate this super chat here from Hendricks, or no, what was it? Key. I'm sorry, Key. I read that wrong. 10-team full PPR, AR, Bijan, Breece, St. Brown, Puka, Waller, Olave, Ravens. D, I have Olave and Waddle as well. So who do you put Achane, Olave, or Waddle in at the flex? I mean, I can't sit Achane. There's no way. Key, appreciate your $10 hauler, by the way. But yeah, you can't sit Achane right now. You got to probably try and make a trade. Olave and Waddle as well. Would you put Achane, Olave, or Waddle as the flex? They're all, you've got to make a trade. That's crazy. That's a great team. Maybe Achane in. I mean, Breece is tempting to start this week because of all the news, but do you really start Breece over Olave? I'd probably start Olave over Breece, or Achane over Breece and then Olave in the flex. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's very, very tough for me to make that decision. So, Pickens and Ridley for Barkley. I already got to that one. Thank you so much for your super chat. This one's from Matthew. Love or Fields. I already got to that one, and I said love. Thank you, Key, for the super chat. Baz dropping another one. Says, my question was, I got 2 offers. Offer 1, Swift and St. Brown for Tyreek Hill. I would take... Chad, are we doing St. Brown and Swift or Tyreek? That's a really tough one. That's a really tough one. I think we probably lean toward... It depends on your depth. If you need the move, if you can't win with Tyreek, then you got to take 2 players and try to take a swing. Offer 2 is any of my running backs for either Olave or Devontae Smith. All right, Baz, let me go look for your question. Any one of your running backs for Olave or Devontae Smith. Breece Hall for Olave or Devontae Smith. I do that trade. That trade's pretty easy given the construction of your team. 10-man league, less Hill, Tyreek, Swift and Brown. 2 bodies better than 1, so Swift and Brown. Depends on the running backs. I mean, his team's right here, so I guess we look at it and we say you're trading away Swift and St. Brown, and you're still gonna have Kupp, you're still gonna have Achane, Bijan, Richardson. I'd probably take Tyreek. You got Amari Cooper, Kelsey. Take Tyreek and roll. That's a really good. You got enough depth to do it. That's a good squad. I would say probably do it. That's a good move, Baz. Baz, you crushed it. Your team's looking great. Your team's looking really good, especially with all that depth. You got to do it. Trade Henry for Breece. I would take Breece, Ayuk, and Addison. Breece, Ayuk, and Addison over Derrick Henry. Absolutely. This one here from Bo. Drop Pickens for Wilson from Arizona. I would say I lean Pickens still a little bit. With Pickett back, I don't know if I start Pickens this week, but I guess in Dynasty I definitely would, I guess, but because I think Wilson's going to be pretty good, but I don't know. I think I still lean Pickens a little bit. How about Bijan, Devontae Smith for Tyreek Walker? I mean, you've got to take Tyreek Walker and run from the veto police because they're going to be after you all night long. Breeze, appreciate you. Bijan, Terry, and Higgins for Breece and Diggs. I'd rather have Breece and Diggs by quite a bit because of the uncertainty on the other side of the fence there. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for everybody for dropping their super chats and everything. Thank you to my $20 haulers. My $20 haulers are just out of this world crazy, and I love them. They're unbelievable. Let's see, $20 hauler from Finish. Appreciate you. Yee dropping a $20 hauler. Joseph Smith, Zachary dropping a $20 hauler. XDS dropping one. G Money dropping one. Thank you, G Money. Appreciate you. Flair dropping one. Appreciate you, Flair. Thank you guys so much for dropping those 20 wads. Josh Daniel, appreciate you. Tony Garcia. If I miss anybody, I'm sorry. I'm trying to go scroll through this. Dave, appreciate you, Dave, for the $20 hauler. Josh Daniel, appreciate you again. Chase, appreciate you, Chase. Cheese 56, appreciate you. Eason 707, appreciate you dropping the 20 watt. Lego Batman coming in like he always does. What a monster Lego is. Lego's the man. And you know what? Lego, we got something for you here, pal. I'm going to officially do this for Lego. Where's Lego at? Lego deserves this. This is Lego's time to shine. Let me just put that right here. I'm coming, Lego, when I'm done, wait till you see what I'm going to do, bro. You're officially on the Batman scene, and I'll put you there, and you're going to stay there. You know what I'm saying? Charles, appreciate you. Rick Moore, $20 haulers from both of you. David, Ian Atwell, Alonzo, appreciate you, Alonzo. And I think that's all my $20 haulers. Appreciate you all. Lego Batman. Let me edit this real quickly and take this with me and put this over on the Batman scene. Okay? You just hang tight. You watch this. Ready? Here we go. Where is this at? got it somewhere. This is where we can't find when we can't find somebody. Now, granted, Lego's not missing. Lego's gonna be Batman's gonna be shooting this off. We'll put Lego down there. There we go. Attaboy, Lego. So now I'm gonna be, when we're looking for somebody and they're missing, Lego is gonna shoot this off. Appreciate you, Lego. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you so much for all that you do. I will see you all later. Cooper dropping a $2 hauler, the first super chat ever, but there's no message attached. But I appreciate you just dropping the support anyway. And I'll see you all tomorrow. We're live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday, just like this show. We just happen to go long. Sometimes this show has gone 3 hours and 29 minutes. So long show tonight. Appreciate you all. You guys all absolutely rock. I'll see you tomorrow. And Cooper, I'm looking to see if you dropped a question real quick. I know you dropped a super chat, so I appreciate you, Cooper, and I'm going to try and answer your question. Love, Diggs, Lamb, Swift, Hall, Laporta. Team is 2-2, and he targets for you. I would say your receivers and RBs are really solid. You just got maybe, let me put this on screen in case it goes away. I would say like you have, an option to maybe send Fields away, if to a QB needy team. That's the only thing you can really do. As far as that, like unless you sell Diggs on the high, Lamb's going to be a guy no one's going to buy high right now. Swift, Hall, Laporta, you could sell maybe. Past that, you're selling Fields or Diggs, and I don't know that you want to sell Diggs. So, your best bet is to potentially try and turn Diggs into like a Devontae Smith and Achane. Go to the Achane owner, see what wide receiver you can get them to include for Stephon Diggs. Past that, I'm probably waiting until Hall gains value, Swift regains his value, Lamb regains his value, but try and sell Fields right now for as much as you can. I think that's the best move for you to make. And Vega with the final super chat of the night. Vega, appreciate you. Vega says, should I offer Fields and DJ Moore for Mahomes? If you like winning, go get Mahomes. Of course I would do that. That's an easiest question I've been asked all night. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. Leave a comment in the chat. I'll try and get back to you tonight. Thank you to my mods, Travis Rowe, Sick Nasty, Terry Roberts if he's around anywhere, Blackbeard if he's around anywhere, Vampy if he's around anywhere, and anybody else I missed. Appreciate you all. Thank you for moderating and being awesome. Thank you to the crew. 420 of you still in here. Punch the thumb up button on the way out the door. Deuces.
Get Breece.